This is the Big O Show. 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 This
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CS, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Righty, welcome aboard. Time to rock and roll. Yes, here we are, ready to go. We are live at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines on the road. It's now that I think about it, it's on the road all week. You know that, Sean? For me, it is, of course, for me, yes. You're on the road 2 out of the 5 days. I'm on the road all 5 days because today we're here at Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll be broadcasting from Mobile, Alabama, baby, site of the Senior Bowl. So we'll have a little fun out there in the Senior Bowl and rock and roll. Can't wait to go back to the Senior Bowl and go out and talk to some folks, go enjoy a little practice. It's a beautiful Monday. Markets are slightly down. Integra, by the way, Acura Integra wins the 2023 North American Car of the Year, and you can come out and get the Integra. By the way, my wife loves the Integra. Loves the Integra. But I told her, you got to wait, honey. Got to wait. I'm waiting for the have you seen the commercial of the electric Acura that's coming out? The SUV with that I don't even know if they've given it a name.
I only remember like names like that catch my eye. I don't remember.
Oh, you just like put on your search engine there on Google. Just put Acura electric car, and then look at I'm sure the commercial will come out. You put videos or whatever after you put in the search, and check out that commercial. How badass is it? Because it's got this whole face to it, and then when you turn it on, the electricity lights up the entire face, and it's got like that whole cone-like thing in the front area, and it just looks really freaking cool. The car looks awesome. I'm waiting for it. That's my next car. You know that. I almost got an electric car the last time around. We just weren't there at that point. And I mean, infrastructure wise, we're still not there yet, but as long as you could charge it at home, I don't really care, man. It's not like I want to drive more than 300 miles. You know what I mean? In a day inside the town. Yeah. And if I'm traveling, by the way, like today, like right now, I have a rented car right there waiting for me. I'm leaving right from here to Mobile, Alabama. I'm driving, but but I rent a car when I go on trips. I don't use my car for the road trip. I rent a car, dude. I mean, isn't that the way you should do it? Why am I going to put all those extra miles
on your car? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Wear and tear and
Yeah, buddy.
tires, oil. Hell nah, dude. No shot. I'm not doing that. So we got it. We got our vehicle. We're ready to go. And anyway, we had a good weekend. How about you? How you doing? You doing all right?
All
you
right.
hanging in there?
I'm good. Hanging in there. Yep.
Okay. All right. When's the Squared Circle Digest? Did you get your
No.
Not yet?
The thing, they didn't come in. They got pushed back again. So
again? Huh? Oh,
Yeah.
I know how that feels.
Yeah.
Oh, I know how that feels.
I know you do.
Damn, dude.
Mine won't be pushed back that far. I mean, they're due in this week, but it just seems like each day it gets
God
pushed back.
bless. You know, and stuff that I was getting for you, I was ordering it from like all kinds of odd places all over the world and stuff. Just one of those things, man.
That's where the wrestling comes from.
Yeah, man. Devin Jordan already chiming in with a little super chat. He says, morning, that was a boneheaded play by the Bengals last night to hit Mahomes out of bounds. Yes, Osai. Yes. Listen. Last night, San Francisco? Yeah, San Francisco had a whole bunch of stupid penalties.
Yeah, they
Oh, my God. They played a lot of stupid football.
They reminded me of the Dolphins yesterday.
Yeah, McDaniel and Shanahan had some of the similarities there at times. Kind of like Shanahan in the Super Bowl. Yo, you got a 25-point lead on Tom Brady. Run the ball. No, I'll just keep passing. Wonder where Mike McDaniel gets that from. So yeah, I saw a lot of that. And then Osai's hit. What are you going to do? You got to call it. See, here's the interesting part about that hit. Okay, and here's where you got to look at it, and here's where Osai screwed up, and the Bengals also just handed the game, to Kansas City. That is a hit that you make in the first quarter. That's a hit you could try in the second quarter. Do you know why? Okay, you're going to give up 15 yards, whatever, but I'm taking a risk that I might put Mahomes out. So for the rest of the game, they lose Mahomes, but we lose 15 yards and maybe possibly just a field goal. Okay, we'll give up the 3 points, but I'll take the trade-off because I took Mahomes out of the game. But at the end of the game, when you commit a penalty like that, you are now giving the game away. You have now pissed away your season, and it's over. And now you feel like it gets by Buckner. You know what I mean? This ain't the first GOAT and it's not like GOAT like in greatest of all time. You know what I mean? This ain't the first guy to be the fool of the game, the idiot of the game, the bonehead of the game. It's watching Jose Canseco and the baseball go right off his head and over the fence for a home run. These are things, it has happened throughout the end of time. We can all think about certain games and certain moments where a player pissed away an opportunity for an entire team. And you either drop the pass, right? What's the name of the receiver against Seattle for the Dolphins? The Jay-Z kid. He's a really nice kid, man. What's his name? That poor guy, he had the memory for him for the Dolphins was dropping the pass against Seattle that they put it in his basket and he drops it. What's his name, dude? The guy that Flo had to play the Jay-Z music for because he was just showing him up. What was his name? They traded him to Houston, bro. Kenny Stills. Yes. So Kenny Stills had the game, didn't he? Remember that game against Seattle? And he just drops it. And that's how you remember Kenny Stills mostly. Those are the two memorable things for him. Dropping the pass against Seattle and then his whole thing with Flo and the whole Jay-Z music. I mean, this is throughout the end of time. That's the way it goes. It's Jamal Mashburn passing up the game-winning shot to Clarence Witherspoon. These are the things that you have to live with at times. The Dolphins, 3 or 4 fumbles against the New England Patriots with a chance to go back to the Super Bowl and a rematch against the Bears, the only team that suffered a defeat against the Bears was the only defeat the Bears had throughout the season was against the Dolphins. Everybody wanted to see that rematch, but the Dolphins pissed it away with one fumble after another. And you have those moments, unfortunately, where you are, the guy at the end that, oh, wow, you screwed up the game, dude. And that play is a dirty play any way you shape it. His anger was, oh, man, I don't want to lose to this guy. And he allowed his anger to take over. And in post game, when they're asking him the questions and PJ Hill is next to him like his defense attorney and all that kind of stuff. And he's talking about, I wasn't sure if I was too far out of bounds. I was just trying to be aggressive or whatever, this, that. You got to think, man. You got to think. You got to know where you're at. Awareness is incredibly important in these kind of situations. Osai did not have good awareness in that moment. I get that play in the first and second quarters. I get it. You want that trade-off. Okay, I'm taking a chance. I'm going to take a slightly dirty hit here, but I might be able to knock Mahomes out, and I'll make that trade-off. Problem is you don't make that trade-off at that moment. Got to know the time, the place of the game, or if not, you're a screw-up. And Osai will have to live with that, man. Like many players in the history of time have had to live with something that cost their team a game, and then they've got to be mentally tough enough to come back and overcome it. That's it. But the Osai and the Bengals have nobody to blame but them. Look, there were other shady calls in that game, the do-over, all that kind of stuff. There was another call that was kind of weird too. That I'm trying to remember which one, but there were a couple of calls that I could say, wow, what the hell were the refs thinking there? But in the end, Mahomes made the winning plays. Burrow threw the interceptions. Oh, and by the way, nobody will say this, of course. The play that Burrow throws to Chase in between the two guys, that was underthrown. He split the two guys, was behind them, had to come back in between them. But nobody will say that. And Tony Romo and company will say, oh, my God, it was a great throw by this guy. No, it was actually underthrown. And then the one to Higgins, right? That one also, in the slot area, that one also underthrown, and Higgins made a play on it. I just, again, nothing again. Burrow is awesome, fantastic. But I just wanted to point out that if you go back and look at those plays, they were underthrown. They were just great plays made by the receiver, and this happens all the time for every quarterback. But if it's Tua today, Tua got lucky. Those two were underthrown. The receivers made plays. They're not saying that about any other quarterback, but they'll say it about Tua. I just, go back and look at it. Okay? That's all. Chiefs had the injured quarterback, the back spasm tight end. They found ways to make plays. Mahomes made better throws than Joe Burrow, made better decisions than Joe Burrow, and that's why they ended up winning. And that's it. So the Osai call had to be made. You make that call 100 times out of 100 times in that moment, because it was a dirty and a stupid ass play by Osai. And he'll just have to live with it and try to redeem himself next year. He's a good player. He'll come back, be tough enough. It's sometimes you just got to be tough enough in life. Life has a way of smacking you down, dude. And you got to be able to respond. That's just the way it is. And it happens to you. It happens to Sean Stanley. It happens to me. Happens to all of us. We all have our, maybe not an Osai moment, but we all have our adversity. And it's one way or another. Maybe you made a mistake, not Osai-like, but another one, or you lost out on an opportunity, or something was, you were treated unfairly here, there, whatever. Life has just a way of kicking you in the ass all the time. What are you going to do, man? You're going to go in a corner and cry? You're going to just whine and point fingers and blame the rest of the world for whatever situation you're in? No, dude, you find a way to climb out of that situation. That's what you do. You fight. And Osai's job now is to be a big boy and fight and deal with the adversity that many, 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 many players have to deal with, right? It's just the way it is. By the way, T. Higgins is going to make $15 to $20 million a year on his next contract with his next team. It won't be the Bengals because they're not going to, there's no way they're paying Chase and T and Boyd. So, T. Higgins is going to be somebody's number one wide receiver. Okay? I don't know who, but he'll be somebody's number one wide receiver because that dude is a number one wide receiver. So that's the thoughts on Osai. By the way, Ira Winderman will be joining us at the bottom of the hour. Do want to remind you, Nature B, right now, man, take advantage. I don't know what's going to happen in a couple of days. Right now, 2 months for $66. But we're throwing in a third month for free and free shipping. Use our code Big O. Get on natureb.com. Those 2 golden capsules that power me every single day, give me the energy, power, and boost my immune system. And listen, I'm about to get in my car and drive for like 9 hours straight to Mobile, Alabama. And guess what? You need some energy for that. And, Nature B gives me that energy and boosting my immune system. I'm going to go over there, temperature change, probably some rain. In fact, there's like an 82% chance on Thursday. So Nature B will power me through, and it can do the same for you. And the benefits of plant pollen, you can look it up for yourselves. That is a magical thing. It is grown in clean, green New Zealand. It is not created in some kind of lab. It is all natural from Mother Nature. The kids can take it. The adults can take it. My daughter's been taking it since she was a child, and she's an adult now. I've been taking it for over 20 years. My wife. And we do it to boost our immune system, to give us the energy. By the way, the plant pollen helps in so many other ways with creaky bones. It also helps out with your indigestion. It helps out with stronger nails, fuller hair. I mean, the benefits are endless in plant pollen. And it's potentiated, so they break it down. So that way, once you absorb it, it goes right into your system right away and starts working. Take it, you'll see it. Once you start taking it, within the first 2 weeks, you'll start to feel the difference, and you will then take it for the rest of your life because you're going to see, wait a minute, O's right. I rarely ever get colds now. Damn, I got a little bit of energy here in the afternoon where I was normally running down. Hey, you know what? Wow, things are settling a lot easier in my stomach. Well, ladies, those nails are growing faster. Men, you're getting fuller hair. It's a beautiful thing. Natureb.com. 2 months, $66. The third month for free and free shipping. Take it. It'll make a difference in your life. Natureb.com. All right. The Miami Dolphins have themselves a new defensive coordinator. Tom Pelissero from the NFL Network broke the news that Miami Dolphins have signed Vic Fangio to a 3-year deal with a 4th-year option, making him the highest paid defensive coordinator in the NFL. And let me tell you, I was already tweeting out, I was terrified that he wasn't coming here, that Miami was the 3rd option practically. Okay? I thought Philly was his number 1 option. You got that sound for me? I thought Philly was the number 1 option. Okay? I thought number 2 was Sean Payton. And then number 3 was Miami. And things are developing. And I was terrified as somebody was asking me, hey, where do you think? And I go, I don't think Miami's his first shot because the job's open. Why doesn't he take it? It's there. And he doesn't take it. And then strangely, the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, who is up for the Houston Texans job, is asked off the field in the game yesterday about his future. And here's what the gentleman had to say about his future. So Vic Fangio sees that Sean Payton can't find a home. Nobody's willing to pay him $25 million. Nobody's willing to give up the picks that you have to give up in order to acquire him, and the power you have to give him to sign him and bring him to your franchise. Everybody else is starting to move in other directions. Denver's moving in another direction. Looks like Houston's moving in another direction. The Arizona Cardinals are kind of left, but, that's not really a sure thing with the Bidwells and everything going on there, because he's going to wipe out people there. And I don't know if the Bidwells will be wanting to pay the kind of money and the compensation. They're kind of cheap. So Sean Payton can't find a home. The Eagles, which I think that was his number one option, well, they're not losing their defensive coordinator. Oh, they didn't hear the sound? Can you do it? Well, let me play the defensive coordinator one more time. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat board. Okay, go ahead. Okay, all right. So we'll put it there, and yeah, just make a video file next time. That's all. Just make it a what is it? A wave or something, and then we'll be able to play the audio. But here's the defensive coordinator come up and talking about it, because I guess you guys did not hear it. And so the fact that the defensive coordinator is staying in Philadelphia, Sean Payton can't find a home, Miami, he had to take that job. And I know Mike Kliss from Channel 9. I've had Mike on the show. I know Mike really well. He reports that deal is not done yet. I'm going to go with the deal is done. It's just not signed. It's agreed to. You got it now? All right, go ahead.
This might be your last one here, because you might get the call.
No, Philly's keeping me. Good, bad, or indifferent. I'm staying here.
There you go. So, okay, what were you saying about the thumbs?
No, because there's arguments going on, because some people are confirming Vic to the Dolphins. Others are saying it's not a done deal.
Kliss.
It's agreed to in principle. Pin hasn't been put to papers. What I was trying to
right, exactly.
Is everybody's the argument is the same. I mean,
it's just semantics that we're just arguing. It's ridiculous, dude. I know Pelissero broke the story. Do you think what does Pelissero break that doesn't go right? When Pelissero says something, it's because, dude, he's getting it straight from the league, straight from the agent, straight from, somebody that is an owner, a GM. Tom Pelissero's not here to he's not here to just screw around. Mike Kliss is a stud. I've known Mike Kliss for 20 years, dude. Okay? Smoked many cigars with Mike Kliss. All right? Hung out with Mike Kliss till 1 or 2 in the morning, talking football and drinking with other coaches and scouts and, in big groups and stuff like that. I know Mike very well, dude. Okay? And Mike, I know what he's reporting. He's reporting that it's not official because it's not signed, basically, is what they're saying. But it's been agreed upon. And I'm kind of helping you by putting the pieces to the puzzle that everybody else is not putting together. They're just saying, well, he signed. Oh, I don't know. Well, think about this. The Philadelphia defensive coordinator saying he's not leaving. Fangio has family in Philadelphia, as Ben Albright enlightened us last week, that he has family in Philadelphia. His girlfriend's in California. His mother's in Florida. Okay, so if he stays in Philadelphia, he's been consulting. He knows the defense, and he's close to his mom. Okay, now that he can't get the Philly job, and Sean Payton can't find a home because they're talking about everybody else. Nobody's talking Sean Payton. No one is saying they're settling in on Sean Payton. So Fangio's seeing that going, well, wait a minute, where am I going to go? So now mom is in Florida. So at least now he's with mom, and then he'll have to go back and forth with the girlfriend in California because she's a surgeon. And to me, that's kind of what's going on here almost. It's really I don't think Miami was the first option, but I think that it's the dominoes fell. And listen, I just want the Dolphins to start getting some breaks, dude. Not like literally, not bones, but like breaks. Like let's stay away from some injuries. Let's have a little luck this coming season. Let's get the defensive coordinator that we need. Hey, all right. Sean Payton's enough of an a-hole that most people don't want to sign him. So he's coming in all arrogant, and people are. By the way, Ben Albright had, what was it? He said 6 or 7 losing seasons with Breeze. I thought that was a very interesting stat.
Yeah.
If you go back and listen to that Ben Albright interview, there's like all kinds of nuggets in that interview. And I figured that because he knows Fangio, he knows the whole situation and all that. And so you think about it, everything's kind of fallen into place for Miami here. The fact that Sean Payton can't find a home, and the defensive coordinator for Philadelphia said, "Nah, I'm not going to Houston. I'm staying right here in Philadelphia. Good, bad, or indifferent," he said. I got to say, 2023 is starting off with a bang, baby. Bitcoin's up 43% this month. Best month in the history of Bitcoin. Best January in the history of Bitcoin. And now my Dolphins get their defensive coordinator. And I'm headed to Mobile. I love being there. Yes, sir.
Ian Rappaport.
Oh.
Reporting D'Amico Ryans.
Going to?
Where do you think he's going?
Denver.
No, the Texans. Yes.
Wow, his former team.
Yeah, the Texans and 49ers defensive coordinator D'Amico Ryans could meet as soon as this afternoon after he handles his San Francisco responsibility. If all goes well, a hire could be finalized Tuesday or Wednesday.
Wow, so then
sources say.
So then who's Denver going to get?
I was trying to find out. I don't see anything in. The Cardinals have now requested the Bengals defensive coordinator, Lou. They're interviewing Lou. I cannot say his last name.
Anarumo.
Exactly.
Anarumo.
For their job.
Anarumo.
All right.
Hey, by the way, would Fangio go back to Denver? Even if Peyton went there?
Yeah, no.
You see what I'm saying?
How that seemed like it was.
You see how all the pieces. I don't think Miami was the option. I think Miami was one of the options because, bless the man, he had many options. And I think it's all worked out for the Dolphins. I freaking love this, dude. This is great. This is so good. And the fact that Mike McDaniel, let's also talk about this now, okay? The fact that Mike McDaniel is a young coach, we're about to talk to Ira Winderman, and I always seem to do this every time Ira's coming in. I can always weave something in heat related to Ira to what we're talking about now. Eric Spoelstra's turned over his coaching staff several times. Right? You that's part of a head coach. It's not so much you can build a staff. You're going to have to rebuild a staff because you're going to have to fire people. They're going to get promotions from one position to another within your organization, or they're going to get an outside promotion to something that they want to move up, but they can't do it in your organization at that moment, so they have to go somewhere else to better themselves. And God bless them, because we should never stand in the way of anyone in the world improving and bettering themselves. We should encourage it and support everyone who's trying to better themselves. And so part of a coach is not just building a staff, but then having to rebuild a staff constantly. That's what a great coach does. Not only do you have great assistants, but you better keep an eye on the future assistants that you're trying to, bring and develop. And so now you look at Mike McDaniel as a young coach. He comes in, his only job was to build an offensive staff, and he built one hell of a staff. Okay, with Frank Smith and Applebaum and himself handling the offense. And then you Darrell Bevel as a QB coach, Wes Welker helping out in wide receivers. I mean, offensively, a really good staff overall. Okay. You converted Connor to center, and he had a pretty damn good year. Shell was found off the street. Robert Jones was made productive coming off the bench. All these things, Robert Hunt started to play almost nearly at a Pro Bowl level. All these kind of things developed under the Miami Dolphins offense. So now you ask him, okay, you inherited the defense and offensive coordinators to maintain continuity. All right, now you had a year to assess it. Now you're going to make your changes, and you bring in Vic Fangio. And for a young coach like Mike McDaniel to have or get the respect or have it has to be some kind of connection, because I'm still trying to figure out what the hell that connection is, because they didn't work together. But yet he is going to come here to work with that man. I think that says a lot about Mike McDaniel. I think that's a really good thing now. We'll see what happens on the special teams coach. And we'll see what happens over the next couple of years when he does have to turn over his staff, just like the aforementioned Eric Spoelstra has had to do it. And that's the challenge for a head coach. And this is what we talked about with Flo. And I kept telling you, Flo can't even build a staff. How do you expect him to continue to replace a staff? Because that's part of the game. You're not going to have the same assistant coaches with you for 47 years. It would be nice. Yeah, it's nice that what's the name of what's it called? Whoa. Damn, Alarmo almost. We lost Alarmo there almost. But anyway, damn it, what's the FSU coach? The basketball coach. Leonard Hamilton. He's had Smith. Sam Smith, I believe is his name. It's been the same assistant with him for 30 years. Okay, you're lucky. More often than not, you're going to lose assistants and you're going to have to replace them. Okay? And that's just the way it is. That's part of being a great coach. This is a really nice first step for Mike McDaniel to be able to land a guy like Vic Fangio to round out his coaching staff. All right, let's talk a little basketball with the man, the myth, the legend that is Ira Winderman. We're at Acura of Pembroke Pines. Let's get to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report right now.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
It always helps to have what happened? Oh, he's there? Okay. Good morning, Ira. It always helps to have a coaching staff that's been here forever. I can always use them as points of reference for all kinds of different things.
Yeah, and I heard you on the crosstalk talking about how the Heat have changed and shaken things up. Look, to a degree, it's because they've developed their coaches. So David Fizdale gets the job in Memphis and then New York. So Juwan Howard gets the job in Michigan. They've advanced their people also. But you're right. They've moved aside some older coaches, Ron Rothstein, Bob McAdoo, Keith Askins. They have rolled talent, even with Dan Craig. Left one assistant job here to the Clippers, a lateral move, because in their view, Chris Quinn was the next wave of lead assistants. So we have seen that. Two things you want to do. Mike McDaniel hasn't had a time yet to start a coaching tree, but you want to develop your guys. You want to have a quarterbacks coach or a tight ends coach who's good enough to be an offensive coordinator somewhere. Eric Spoelstra always says the same thing. He hates to lose good friends, but he loves to see when his guys advance. But he's also been smart enough to bring in veteran guys. For example, Malik Allen was a big man coach under Stan Van Gundy in Detroit. Then he went to Minnesota. And he said, you know what? When I lost Juwan, I need a veteran big man coach because I've got this prodigy in Bam Adebayo to develop. And let's face it, no player in the Miami Heat has made the strides that Bam Adebayo has over the last 2 or 3 years. And I think you've really got to credit Malik Allen for working with the kid, helping him develop and find his own voice. So I don't know if Vic Fangio is someone like that, but there is something to be said for bringing in a guy who's had success elsewhere and saying, okay, mold our young lumps of clay. And I think that's what you're seeing with the Dolphins now.
Yep, no doubt. And plus, you have Bradley Chubb here, which is somebody he already coached in Denver and knows how to coach him. So, and had some pretty good years under Fangio. So, I think that really helps out too with the trade that you made. All right, last night, painful, dude. Watching the Hornets beat the Heat, watching the Heat get beat up on the boards, not being able to shoot threes. And the weird part was they actually took care of the basketball. They only had 10 turnovers. So it wasn't like they were giving the ball away, but the defense wasn't there. Rozier's lighting them up. PJ Brenner with 27 points. Haywood with 20. All those things. I mean, just absolute. And by the way, for those of you, his name is not PJ Washington. It's PJ Brenner because, Brittany Renner, that is. I'm sorry, Renner. PJ Renner. Remember, he had a kid with the Instagram model, so that's why we call him PJ Renner there. But the boys just, God, that was ugly yesterday, Ira. That was just,
and I hate the excuse of it's an afternoon game because some of your biggest playoff games might be afternoon games. So I don't want to hear that. This is a Heat team, and we always hear the expression, "Don't let go of the rope." They let go of the rope. They were up 13. They rode the wave like you just showed with your hand signals there for those just listening on the podcast. And that's what happens. And just when you think you're in a good position and you're out of, that malaise you have, you get smacked in the face. And it doesn't get easier. You have the Cavaliers tomorrow, and you have their loaded roster and their loaded backcourt with Garland and Donovan Mitchell. The Knicks, say what you want. They're right there, a game behind the Heat for that coveted number 6 playoff seed. I wrote about that at the Sun Sentinel today. Then you're off to Milwaukee on Saturday. You can't blow the opportunities. If the Heat would have come back from this trip 2-2 and gotten the wins in New York and Charlotte, I would have said, okay, Big O, they left 6 games over. They come back home in a good spot. Now you have to find that extra victory to not have a losing road trip. It's not going to be, not going to be easy. Even if you get it in New York, you have to find a way either here in Cleveland or in Milwaukee. The Heat keep setting themselves up for disappointment. And that's been a really frustrating part of this season.
Well, one of the things that I'm pretty sure you mentioned in one of your notes in the it's that article that where you put all the notes while the game is going on, and one of the things that you talked about that it's a 3-point league, and they're a terrible 3-point shooting team, and I don't know how that gets better. I was thinking about this on Saturday. I'm going, okay, so are we fooled all year long? Is this Heat team just going to flounder all year, and then all of a sudden in the playoffs they're going to start playing better, and it's something that we didn't expect? Or is this really what we're going to see from here on out? And because this is kind of what I'm expecting. It just doesn't look like it's a good team right now. But I start to look at the pieces and I say, man, if they could actually play, but it is a 3-point league.
It is.
Where do you turn the corner on this?
I don't know if you do. Kyle Lowry is really good. I got him alone when he stopped watching his Eagles for a couple of minutes in the locker room. And he offered a really interesting point. He said, look at our 2 leading scorers. Jimmy Butler is a guy who plays inside the arc. We know that, we accept that, and he is great at it. And Bam Adebayo is a player who plays inside the paint, and he is great at it. But it might be stylistically, it's just not going to be good enough. And I'll give you the comparison. The Dolphins had 2, maybe 3 fantastic receivers this season. They went to the passing game constantly. And then we kept asking ourselves, what's happening to the running game? And then when they needed the running game, it wasn't there because that's not who they are. Sometimes your roster composition leaves you in a difficult place overall. This might sound weird. Jimmy Butler's your best player. Bam Adebayo, if Jimmy's not, is your best player. But you might need a little bit less of those 2 because you have to feed the 3-point game, just like the Dolphins should have fed the running game a little bit more. It's so simple. It's simple enough math that even someone like me who got a C- in finite math in college at SUNY Binghamton knows this. 3s are worth more than 2. The Heat have been very good on their 2s, and other teams have been very better on their 3s. And I think they have to rectify that. And if it requires a stylistic change, then so be it. I love what Bam has done. I love what Jimmy can do, but it has to be more than that also.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. You say, which is all true, what Lowry says, that you got two inside players in Butler and in Bam, and you also have two excellent passers while they're also penetrators. Okay, so then that means they can be creators. And if I look around the team, then I start looking at Caleb Martin. I start looking especially at Tyler Hero and Gabe Vincent and Victor Oladipo and Max. I don't know what the hell is going on with Strus right now from three-point range, and even Duncan Robinson. So you do have three-point shooters. Why aren't you trying to work that kind of an offense where the impactful players who attract a lot of attention can also be impactful creators and hopefully get those shooters on track? Because the formula to win will be that one. The formula that you're using now is not going to win you games. And I know they would say, well, it slows down a little bit in the playoffs. Yes and no. It does slow down, but this is not the 90s anymore. It doesn't slow enough down to a crawl where you're going to win with the inside game. You're still going to need to run. You're still going to need to stretch that defense. You're still going to need to hit three-point shots. So why not try to work it the other way and use those big studs to also create some stuff for the guys in the perimeter?
And I think it is fundamentally rooted in the rotation. Until this year, you always had, quote unquote, a three-point specialist in your starting lineup, either Duncan Robinson or Max Strus. But you had to placate, you thought, Tyler Hero. You brought him in there. So there's not the mindset of, we have this three guy, we've got to feed him. If you recall previous Heat seasons when Duncan Robinson was starting, or even Max, they would almost always start the game trying to get one of those two off early with a three-point attempt. I can't tell you how many Heat games used to begin with Duncan Robinson opening the scoring with a three. You don't do that. Now let's look at the second unit. Even though Max Strus is still there, Duncan Robinson has been phased out. The primary scorer on the second unit is Victor Oladipo, who has never been a great three-point shooter. So in your second unit, you're playing to a guy who's a slasher, mid-range pull-up, not that style of game. Your fundamental rotation and your lineup right now does not play to that, and that's hurting them. So what Eric Spoelstra tried to do is he's trying to play to the strengths of his best players. You know what? Duncan Robinson, no offense, Duncan Robinson was never one of the Heat's best players. He just wasn't. He was functional. Max Strus was never one of the Heat's best players when he was starting in the playoffs, but it was functional. I think the Heat right now have a dysfunctional lineup and a dysfunctional rotation because you've got to play for your three-point players, just like the Dolphins got so far away from the running game that when they called on Mostert or someone, it wasn't there because they haven't used the damn guy. You got to get warmed up early, so when you're trying to run clock late, you have someone who's warmed up and juiced and ready to go. Look, if the Heat are learning this now, there's still 31 games left. You can address it. But if you keep banging your damn head against the wall over and over with this rotation and this lineup, you're probably going to get the same results.
What is your definition of this team? What do they look like to you right now?
My definition of this team is not good enough for where they want to be. And this is the story I just posted the Sun Sentinel. Big O, the Miami Heat are number 6 in the East. If they had won yesterday, they could have gone into the game in Cleveland, possibly with a chance to move into number 5 or been on the cusp, depending on last night's game that Cleveland did win. Instead, they're only one game up on the Knicks, and the play-in is a very dangerous place for anyone to be. Because honestly, I could see the Heat in a one-game showdown in Miami against the Knicks with all the New York fans. The Heat lose that, and then it's all or nothing for the number 8 seed and playing a top seed. They're stuck in the middle right now. They need a kick in the ass and a jolt by next Thursday's NBA trade deadline. But I'm not sure they have the pieces to make it. But they need something. They've always done something. It was big a couple of years back when it was for Jay Crowder and it was Andre Iguodala. It was smaller the year after when it was for Trevor Ariza, and that didn't get as much done. Last year was a cap move just to get Caleb Martin on a standard deal and dealing KZ Okpala. They need a jolt of energy. They need you and I next Thursday, a week from Thursday, to talk about, hey, this could be a difference. This guy could be a difference maker. I'm not so sure Jay Crowder is that kind of player, but I think they've just got to find something. I mentioned Terrence Ross in Ask Ira the other day. The Heat have always added guys who have killed them. Sort of like, if they're going to beat you, you let them join you. I think a guy, an instant offense guy like that, like a Terrence Ross, who could come in maybe twice a month and all of a sudden go off at 12 straight points, that's exactly what this team could use right now. That jolt of something a little bit different. It is getting, you know what? I use the word as Big O. It's getting a little bit stale.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. And if they get a power forward, it's got to be somebody that can also stretch it, right?
You need another three-point shooter. And again, you know what? I call a lot of these deals 2-for-1 deals for this reason. Not only would you be getting a starting power forward, but you'd be re-injecting Caleb Martin's energy into the second unit. So I think you would be upgrading your starting unit and you'd be energizing your second unit. It would be a 2-for-1 deal. The Heat have made those kind of deals before where they just add someone, move someone over, and you get a double boost out of it. I also think they need a backup center, whether it's Omar Yurtseven coming back and being healthy for the playoffs.
When's that happening?
Orlando Robinson is not good enough right now to be your playoff backup center. God bless him. But he's young, he's raw, and honestly, he's just a guy.
Okay, so when's the big Yurt coming back?
Well, you know what? He was out shooting during practice last week, but he was also wearing a splint on his ankle. That doesn't bode very well. Look, the All-Star break is the 19th, the All-Star game. So I would say early March. And that can work for you because think about this, Big O. That's the same timetable as Victor Oladipo last season. And Victor Oladipo was a genuine playoff contributor, correct? He made some really good moves and games in the playoffs. I think if they know that Omer can come back by March, I think they're okay then. If they don't, and again, you're going to give me all kinds of Kardashian jokes here, whatever, but even if Tristan Thompson or someone like that, just to give you a bona fide, real NBA playoff experience center for the playoffs, I think you'd have to look outside for someone like that. So I think the medicals on Omer are important. Dwayne Dedman is literally dead man walking. I do not expect him to be here after the February 9th trading deadline. Orlando Robinson, hey kid, you got like 13 more games on your NBA contract. Come back and see us next season. Maybe you're the future. Maybe Omar Yurtseven leaves in free agency. But right now, this Heat team needs to get better, and they have the avenues to do that.
Oh my God, Kardashians will be in the arena. Oh,
hey, we already had Lamar Odom, so we've lived the entire experience.
Jesus. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. What do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel, my friend?
I posted that story about where they are in the standings. It is so tenuous. And man, I could just imagine the pressure and the tight, whatever you want to call them, if this team has to go to the play-in. They've had their chances to move up and they have blown them. So now it's a matter of where it stands. I wrote an Ask Ira today also. I also posted that about whether the Heat a deal will make a difference for them or not. And I got practice at 12:45, so I'll have other juicy tidbits for you later in the afternoon, folks. Tomorrow, I'll discuss all of that with Kurt Heelan, moving it up a day on our RedRecover.com Inside the Paint show at 9 a.m. So we'll sort of assess the Heat going into the big Cleveland game also.
51 games already into the season. All right, here we go. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. Ira, as always, thank you, my friend. We'll catch up on Friday.
Off to the snow. Be thankful, South Florida people. Be very thankful. Thanks, Big O.
You got it. Hang in there, my brother. Be safe. There you go. That is your Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. They got a great selection. We're at the end of the month. All right. So we got 2 more days here, today and tomorrow. They are going to make you some great deals right now. The 2023 Acura Integra, the what's it called? The sports car of the year in North America, man. That is a pretty damn good title. What is it? Let me make sure I get it right here. Let me get it right. Let me make sure. It is the North American Car of the Year, not sports car. North American Car of the Year, which is even bigger than anything else. The Acura Integra. It is also sharp, by the way. My wife loves the Integra, but I told her, nope, you're gonna get yourself an electric car. That's what we're gonna get. So we're waiting for it. Hopefully by the end of this year, I think. I know we just started the year, but hopefully that new Acura is going to come out. That commercial has got me jacked for that car. There you go. That's your Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA reports.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right, let me go over some of the super chats here. Nizzle, by the way, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, got our guy Fangio, Super Bowl or bust, 2023. I'm with you there. 2024, actually. But it is the 2023 season. I got you. And don't forget, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Let's see. The next one is Griffin Gaming. Sometimes it's best just to be lucky. Fangio has had at least one season of a top 10 defense everywhere he's been. Sign me up. He's had a lot of top 10 defenses in his career. So I'm with you. And you're going to have a top 10 defense here. DJ Gallagher, thank you for the love on the super chat. He goes, good to be back with you live, Big O. Outstanding as usual. Eres el Bárbaro. Thank you, sir. Very nice. True Fin Fan 78 says, man, I feel good right now. Can't wait for the 23-24 season. I can't wait either, man. I am looking forward to it, man. Appreciate all of you out there. Remember, Cash App or Venmo. Remember, you can make a donation of Bitcoin through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show at Cash App or Venmo. There you go. All right. Ah, yes. What else do we got going on in the world of sports? What do we got here on the chat board? Let me take off my glasses. Let's see. LeBron also gave us an amazing video of the Harlem Shake. Okay. Not sure what that means. Bring back the NSX. Actually, there was one there in the they got the NSX. You can buy them. You got to order them. They just don't. We get them here in the studio, in the showroom. There might be one in there. Actually, I'm not sure. I'd have to check on one of the breaks here at the top of the hour when I get a minute. I'll check and see. But usually they have an NSX in here, man. They just, the problem is that they don't last long. They either order them for a customer, or they'll bring one in and that thing will get sold right away. There was a red one the other day that was here. It was nasty. Nasty. Sean, what did you think of the Royal Rumble PPV? Seemed kind of lackluster this year, right?
No, I don't think it was lackluster. There's just no big, they said they weren't doing the old traditional bring back all the Hall of Famers or whatever. They had Booker T in it. I think the whole thing was getting to the main event. The matches, you knew who was going to win. You knew Cody was probably going to win the men's, and Rhea Ripley was the odds-on favorite, although when they threw Beth Phoenix out there, I thought maybe that was going to change. But it didn't, so Rhea Ripley won there. It wasn't necessarily the main event matches. It was the storyline of the Bloodline and Sami Zayn that they were getting to. The matches this year, they knew were not going to be the focus of the show, which is why they didn't bring in all the guests and one-offs like they usually do. But
right.
All in all, I thought it was a good pay-per-view. Yes, the matches lacked a little bit because there weren't those surprises, but I thought overall it was a good pay-per-view and did what it needed to do.
All right. There you go. You got your answer. What do we have here? Joseph Rosenbaum. Big O, do you think free agents will be lining up to play for McDaniel and Fangio together? Joseph, I don't know why free agents would avoid. I don't think that was going to be an issue with or without Fangio anyways. Didn't they get Armstead last year? Didn't they make a move for Tyreek Hill? Didn't they get Connor Williams? Didn't they get Cedric Wilson? I mean, they'll either sign or trade for or acquire, and they'll sign them, and they'll be happy to sign here. I don't think that's an issue, dude. I don't know why anybody would even consider that an issue. Now, does it help to have Fangio? Sure, as long as you fit his defense, and he's not going to really go after anybody. I'll tell you what. Here's something that I do like about the Fangio signing. Okay, obviously, you got one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL, one of the 5 best, a guy that consistently has one of the top defenses in the league. Those things cannot be argued. Now, you also traded for a guy in Bradley Chubb that he knows very well from his days in Denver and played his best football there at times in Denver, right? He didn't play his best football here. Well, Fangio will know how to use him and get the best out of him, I think, and everybody else on that defense. And then here's the other thing, my favorite part about all of this. What position do they need to improve? Linebacker. And guess who they have now? They have a defensive specialist, guru type guy that now will sit there in that war room, and he's going to say, I'm looking for this kind of a linebacker. And that's when Chris and Reggie and Marvin, the three-headed monster that runs that organization, will then scour with their guys. They'll come up with a list of guys. They'll hand Vic the film of all the highlights of each guy and lowlights of each guy. And then they'll say, all right, coach, what do you think about these guys for this spot? And now you're going to have Fangio's expertise also help you out in the process. I think that's huge, dude. I think that's enormous. It's great to have him. It's great to have if you're going to get rid of Boyer, make sure you bring in somebody at least that is established. I don't want another young guy. That's the thing I didn't want, because I don't think Boyer did a bad job. I think Boyer did a good job, actually. And if you gave Boyer a healthy secondary, I think he would have done a terrific job overall. And he still did a solid job overall, where he gave his team a chance to win every single week. At no point was that defense ever blown out that the offense had no chance to catch up or win a game. None. So to me, I thought he did. So if you're going to fire him, fine. You want to fire him? Hey, man, you inherit him. You want to bring in your own people, but you better go get a Vic Fangio. You better go get a Lovie Smith. You better go get somebody that has been there and done it over and over again. Not another young and up-and-coming guy that's a DB coach here, a linebacker coach there, a co-defensive coordinator, but hasn't called the plays and this, that. What? No. To do that, then you're just putting everything at risk. With Fangio, you inherit a history, a reputation, consistency that players are going to respect. And they've seen it on film. They've watched other players, excel under his system. There are so many things to like about Vic Fangio and the addition, but also the draft part of it. We all know they need a middle linebacker. We all know that they need a guy that can run like the wind from sideline to sideline, make some plays. Fangio now will help you scout that guy. And I think that's an enormous positive, having him there in that mix. By the way, the folks at Welton Rayom, they know how to get it done. We love the folks at Welton Rayom. And I got to tell you, my wife and I, we really love the folks at Welton Rayom. And you will too, once you put them to work and they just go out there and absolutely kick ass. That's when you're going to say, oh my God, thank you for telling me about Dan and about Jeff, because these guys know how to do it. I saw them bring Progressive Insurance to their knees. All right. Progressive Insurance was offering us, 15% of what we got. Seriously. It was a joke. And these guys went in there and kicked their ass. And let me tell you something. If you got condo damage, if you got property damage like we had, business owner claims, personal injury, homeowner property damage, I'm telling you, before you call those insurance companies, it's the worst thing you can do. First, you call Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646. You tell them that Big O sent you. They're going to send their adjusters, because their adjusters work for you. And when you see what your adjuster, puts together and you compare it to their adjuster, now you know why you have to hire Welton Rayom. And I'm telling you from experience. So if you live in Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach counties, or even Monroe County, we got an office in Monroe County also for our friends in the Keys. 954-966-4646. Free consultation, man. You got something, bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, call Daniel Rayom and Jeff Welt. They are just absolutely amazing. They are the bookend tackles that will blitz and they will absolutely shatter that insurance company that doesn't care about you. They only care about collecting their premiums. So call them, Welt and Rayom, 954-966-4646. Tell them that Big O sent you. Dan and Jeff are going to help you out. You'll love them, Welt and Rayom. All right. I don't know how anyone can have high expectations this 23 season. I'm keeping my expectations at 9-8 again. This team really broke my heart this year. No more being fooled by excusineers. Well, whatever, bro. I mean, you know, that's fine. I don't really care. That's fine with me. They had a whole bunch of injuries. That team gets some breaks, and they actually don't suffer injuries. DJ Gallagher, thank you. Sent some Bitcoin, on Cash App. I love it. He says a little double play. Thank you. I'm having issues with my Venmo. I don't know what the hell is going on with my Venmo. It's like really weird. Something going on with the app. Can't figure it out. It's like odd, man. Seriously. Like a weird thing. I'm trying to sign on with my Venmo and it's just I don't know. In fact, let me see something here a second. Just in case. Oh, you know what? I think I may have figured out why I can't get in my Venmo. Hold on. Maybe leaving my VPN on is not letting me in. We'll see. Let me see if I'm correct here. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Whatever. It could be. And are we getting in or not? Let's see. It's Skynet, Big O. Yep, that's it. It's Skynet. What about the special teams coordinator staying or going? You know what I thought of? I told you guys this a week and a half ago, whatever, when they fired the defensive coordinator. I think they fired the defensive coordinator because they knew that they wanted to go after, Fangio already, and they wanted to give him a chance to get a job. And he felt already that he had an inside track on that one, right? And so, but the special teams coach, maybe he doesn't feel as comfortable about who he's going to get. So he's hanging on to Crossman until he gets the guy he really wants, and then he can move on. You know what I'm saying? So I just wonder about that. And maybe he likes Boyer, and so he wanted to give Boyer a chance to find a job quickly if he can this offseason and let him get ahead on it. And who knows? You know what I'm saying? It's just it's a weird dynamic. It really is. Absolutely weird dynamic, I got to say. All right, now it's working now, but I'm waiting for some crap here. Big O, I missed the crypto show this weekend. It's on this channel, Jonathan. Just go over to what's it called? To just it's here on this whole on this channel.
Just go over to the videos and hit on the videos. You'll see it. Scroll down. There hasn't been a show. This will be the first show since that, so it should be the first show you see.
Right. Exactly.
Unless the videos I posted yesterday went in front of them, but it should be one of the first 5 or 6 videos on there.
Yes. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. Here we go. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Here we go. Robert Triana, thank you for the love on Venmo. Hello, Big O. That was awesome yesterday. Been looking forward to listen for a while now. Thanks for everything. Also, still going strong, brother. 5 months and 11 days of sobriety. Let's go, vet. There you go, Robert. Good job by you, dude. Very proud of you, man. Steve M. What does Steve M says? Oh, that strategy for injuring a QB at the expense of a 15-yard penalty is exactly what teams will be doing to Tua if he ever ends up in the playoffs. Yep, that's right. And guess what, Steve M? What was Pat Mahomes doing? What was he doing when he got hit? Was he not scrambling? Was he not running out of bounds? Do I want Tua doing that? Do I want Tua scrambling? No. Okay. Tua, Steve, 2.8 seconds. Get rid of the goddamn ball. I don't want you scrambling. I think I've repeated this over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? Drew Brees played a ton of games and he can't run. So did Marino, and so did Peyton Manning, and so did Tom Brady, and they can't run. They got to learn to get rid of the football quickly and make a decision. They all won in this league. Tua is those guys. Okay? Montana was not necessarily Mr. Mobile. Could he roll out on a design rollout on a boot and waggle? For sure, and so can Tua. On a design boot and waggle. Was Joe Montana scrambling around? No, dude. Joe Montana made a quick decision and gone. Kid is the same way. Steve and a lot of you seem to not be able to understand the English language. I get, and I appreciate the Venmo, Steve. You know I love you, okay? And I get your Mr. Negative Tua and your all that stuff, but I keep repeating over and over and over again, okay? His injuries come from scrambling. His injuries come from holding the ball 4 or 5 seconds. And why did Mahomes take an extra shot? Because he held onto the ball and he's scrambling and running. That's not what Tua is. He doesn't have even Mahomes. He doesn't have Mahomes' wheels with a high ankle sprain. Stay in the pocket, get rid of the goddamn ball, and live for the next play. Tua can have a very, very long career if he learns how to play the game the way Marino, the way Brady, the way Manning, the way Montana, the way Breeze, all these statues, the same way these statues played the game. They weren't scrambling around and buying time like John Elway or Fran Tarkenton or Roger the Dodger or Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen or anybody else that you want to call a scrambling or, Russell Wilson type, all those kind of guys. That's one type of player. Here's the other type of player. And that's who Tua is. Okay? He's a statue. He needs to stay back there. Get rid of the ball quickly. You guys can live off the negativity all you want. I'm not doing that. Not doing it. So, I get it. Let's see. What else do we have here? Did another super chat come in? Because I don't know. Did not see it there. Okay. Okay. All right. So I was right. Yeah, you have the damn VPN on. It doesn't let you get in. So, and let's go to Cash App here. Let me see what we got going on in Cash App. Alexander Lopez, DJ. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm seeing the Bitcoin here now because I saw the message come through, and now love it. I always enjoy a Bitcoin donation. Nothing wrong with that, baby. All right. Jimmy says, as Parcells says, Dolphins should not bank it all on injury and concussion-prone Tua. Scrambling is a fact of life for a QB. Get a backup QB who can challenge him in case he falters. Who, Jimmy? Who's going to challenge him? This is my favorite part about all these idiots. Who's realistically going to come here and challenge him, Jimmy? Who? Give me an answer, bro. I always love doing it with you idiots. Let's go. Who's available? Who's legitimately going to come in and challenge Tua and be a better quarterback than Tua? Because that's what a challenge is, right? Somebody that can be his equal or be better. Who? Who are you going to get? It's the dumbest. Oh, by the way, who the fuck is Parcells? I saw that Dave Hyde article that he's quoting. That is the dumbest ass article. Are you talking about the guy that drafted Pat White or Chad Henne? I'm sorry. I must have missed it. I must have missed what where was he a quarterback guru? He had punk ass, weak ass Drew Bledsoe and Vinny choke ass Testaverde. By the way, George Young drafted Phil Simms, and it's a Hustetla. Because George Young built those Giants teams, not Parcells. Parcells didn't go shopping for the groceries. George Young went shopping for the groceries, like he did for the Dolphins before that in the 70s. Okay? So last time I checked, Parcells had Drew Bledsoe. Last time I checked, he had Vinny Testaverde. Okay? Last time I checked, those are the kind of guys he had. He drafted Pat White here. Okay? Oh, and Chad Henne. Yeah, let me go take his advice because he didn't win anything without George Young. But we'll take his advice because, of course, it makes for great sensationalism. Right? And it gets you guys to bite because society is weak-minded in general. It's what it is. You're lied to constantly, and you suckers believe it. They lead you to fear-mongering, and you suckers believe it all the goddamn time. And that's why people like Jimmy get it. They get suckered. Okay? Where's the answer, Jimmy? Good question. Is it possible to find someone? No, but Jimmy, you're the smart guy. See, that's why your statement was freaking stupid, Jimmy. That's why you're a dumbass, Jimmy. Because you throw something out there and you can't think for yourself that there's nobody out there that's going to challenge him. Nobody. You're not signing a backup quarterback that's better or even close to what Tua is. Tua is the top-rated quarterback in the NFL. Parcells groceries suck. So there you go. I mean, seriously, it's just Parcells, really? We're quoting Parcells. Yeah, because he was such a success here. Yeah, he gave us Jeff Ireland and I know Tony Sperano passed away and rest in peace. But, you know, come on, man. Come on. Let's go. Please. That guy was a position coach at best. Rest in peace. Well, position coach at best. Yes, sir.
Did you see the QAM news this morning? Well, actually, it was announced a while ago, but they officially said it today.
QAM news?
Yeah. They lost the Dolphins to Big 105, and
they announced it now. What we broke?
They announced it today.
It's like it
was officially announced, and Joe is staying on as an announcer with Cephalo. They're going to be the announcer.
Oh yeah, I'm sure of that. And he's still hanging around, right?
Yeah, it's him. And I heard him this morning. Hollywood. That's it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just you mean the news we broke?
Yeah,
a while back that QAM lost.
That's what I was like. I mean, I know
just like this weekend.
It's now official.
Just like this weekend, the Dolphins are not going to pursue Tom Brady. Really? Oh, I thought we told you weeks ago before anybody else. Tua's the guy, and they're moving on with Tua. And then a couple
Tom was
days
looking at schools.
Then a couple days later, Schefter breaks it over because I broke it on Thursday. He broke it over the weekend after that. Whatever, dude. It's like, you know, you want to find out more about the Dolphins and what's going on? This platform here is going to tell you more about the Dolphins than anybody locally or nationally. Combined, by the way. Combined. All right? We'll break more news than most everybody else. We'll tell you about most of the big stories before everybody else. I mean, Parcells. We're quoting Parcells. Please give me a break. Mr. Pat White. Wow. I got game says, all due respect, we had one win when Parcells took over and won the division in 08. Brady was injured, bro. And the Wildcat, and they got lucky. What did they do after that? Nothing. And so what? Adam Gase made the playoffs. Dave Wanstead won 11 games twice. Does that make him a good coach? Huh? Is that how you measure it? Because Dave Wanstead had 2 11-win seasons and a 10-win season. Does that make him a great coach or something? No. What did Parcells do? I must have missed it. What? Pat White? Is that what Sperano settling for field goals? A loser's mentality? Jeff Ireland asking Des White if his mom's a whore? Yeah, no, I mean, Parcells brought so much to the table, my brother. Yeah, no, he got game and you got game. Yeah, you both got lots of game. Yeah, we had one win. Wow. And it paid off, right? With Chad Henne. Yeah. Well, that one win paid off. He ended up, actually, Jake Long. That was the one win. Look what he did with Jake Long. He drafted Jake Long and then brought the coach that ruined Jake Long for the rest of his career in Tony Sperano, who decided to play him in week 1 of a preseason game on a muddy field on a baseball diamond. Yeah, that's Parcells. I got game. Yeah, he brought it to the table. Yep. Oh, and by the way, they could have at least taken the quarterback, which would have been a better pick. Because the quarterback probably wouldn't have gotten injured on that rainy day. Parcells, yeah, no, we had one win. And then you give them the opportunity with the draft to with that one win and the draft position, and you don't take advantage of it. Well, what was it? What was the other? There was a couple of other things. Let me just finish off the kill shot on the whole we got one win BS crap. Let me just wipe this completely out now, because I know it's here, but I just got to make sure I just get it right here to make sure we can just completely finish this guy off here. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Where are we at now? Where are we at? Here we go. Jake Long was your first round pick. Philip Merling was your second round pick. Chad Henne was your second round pick. Your first good pick was Kendall Langford, who had a 12-year career out of a third round. Then Sean Murphy, Jalen Parmalee, Donald Thomas, Lex Hilliard, and Lionel Dodson. There you go. I got game. Did he have game with one win draft? Because those were all top picks. The first, the 32nd, the 57th, the 66th, the 110, the 176, he had early picks in every round. And how did that work out? You got game? Then he took Vontae Davis, who wanted to go hang out with his grandma and drink liquor before the game. Then he picked Pat White in the second round, then Sean Smith in the second round, then Patrick Turner, then Brian Hartline was probably his best pick, who's like a number 4 wide receiver. Then John Nailbone, Chris Clemens, Andrew Gardner, J.D. Folsom. Hey, how's Parcells doing so far? Does he have game? I got game. 2010, Jared Odrick, Koamisi, John Jerry actually turned out to be a better player for other teams, not for Miami. And then A.J. Eads, Nolan Carroll, half-decent player. Rashad Jones, that was a good player right there. Chris McCoy and Austin Splitter. Boy, he really got game. Oh, man, he got game. Wow, he got game. Yeah, no, but remember, they had one win. And go ahead and ride the 11 wins and a Wildcat and, just, everything before and after that. And in the draft, they had lots of game. I got game. Lots of game. My God. Yeah, now do Greer. Hey, Vic Popple. Here you go. Here you go, Vic Popple. You ready? First rounders. Since we just did this, actually. Since, what was it? The 2016 season, right? Technically, that's when I don't think he really took over then. He took 2 years later. But here we go. Laramie Tunsil, Charles Harris, Minka Fitzpatrick, Christian Wilkins, Tua, Austin, Noah, Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips. That's 6 of 9 on your first rounders. Do the math. Because I'm counting Tua as a hit. If you hit 50%, who brought it up there? Who's the idiot? Huh? Vic Popple. Hey, Popple, if you compare 6 of 9 first rounders, that's actually a hit, my brother. But you go ahead and lean on Austin Jackson and Noah and think at all that. But all the other ones are pretty much hits. 6 of 9 on your first rounds. Let me tell you something, Vic Popple. Since you are football 101 and you don't know jack shit about football, if you hit on 50% of your first rounders, you're awesome. 6 of 9 is phenomenal, Vic Popple. And if you don't want to give Tua, 5 of 9. But then again, he is the number 1 rated passer in the NFL this year. That sounds like a pretty successful pick. But that's fine. 6 of 9, 5 of 9. It's still very successful, Vic Popple. Okay? By the way, we can start if you want. Let's go second rounders. Mike Gesicki, Raekwon Davis, Xavier Howard, Jordan Phillips. I can't give him. I'm not going to go to 2014 because that's not him. But you're hitting on second rounders. And some guy named Javon Holland, I think, was a second rounder. Whatever, dude. Vic Popple, the problem is you listen to people, but you actually don't do your homework, my man. They actually draft really well compared to the shit we've had here in the past. Vic Popple, if you're going to step up on this show, you got to do your homework, buddy. Or if not, you're going to get crushed. Love these guys that think they actually know something, like Jimmy and Vic Popple, and you guys don't know jack shit. You guys couldn't find your assholes with a funnel. Are we clear on that? Oh, my God. It's like, Big O, why are you hating on Parcells? He is calling good money. He's calling good money on Tua that he can't depend on a full season. It's lazy, bro. It's lazy. Lots of guys have bad starts to their careers. You can fix his issues. I've pretty much said what he has to do. The problem with Tua, as I've said over and over again, he listens to people. And he has to stop listening to everybody out there. That he can't do this and he can't do that. He can do all he needs to do, but he has to play within his limits. And he has to understand certain things. Okay? Like putting your shoulder into a defender. No, dumbass. And somebody's got to sit him in a corner somewhere and say, and play that over and over again and tell him how stupid he is for doing that. McDaniel doesn't have that in him probably. But somebody, Darrell Bevell better have it in him and say, you see this? I don't want to see this again, ever. Okay? Tons of quarterbacks never do that kind of stuff because that's stupid. You're going to lose that battle. And you don't run like Mahomes and Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. You're not them. Stop scrambling around. You can win from the pocket. That's it. Mahomes, one of the things that I talk about all the time with quarterbacks is at one point or another, they're going to take away your mobility. When they take away your mobility, what do? Can you win from the pocket? This is why Lamar Jackson is not good enough, because once you take away his mobility, he's done. You took away the mobility from Pat Mahomes. You think he's done? No. He'll sit there in the pocket with the gimpy knee and take your ass out. Tua can win easily from the pocket. What he has to learn, what he isn't. And somehow or another, he thinks he's Josh Allen, that he can barrel a defender over, or Cam Newton. No, you're not, dude. And these are the things. I love the kid as a player. And was I worried about his injury history? From day one. Before they ever drafted him. Of course. But like everything in life, you have to look at it and assess it. And I've assessed it. And one of the things that I've seen from his injuries are all from holding on to the stupid football. All his major injuries. That means he's taking all the normal quarterback hits on average with no problem throughout his career. Nobody will talk about that. It's, you know what it reminds me of? Have you seen that video of Mike McDaniel where they say he's vaping on the sidelines? Okay, so let me ask you something. This is what we do in the media. This is what you idiots do some of you idiots do out there. Okay, so everybody's talking about, oh, he's vaping on the sidelines. How come they didn't vape the exhale? Where's the exhale? Where's the exhale? Does it look like but he might be biting a pen. But if he vaped, you didn't stick around for the exhale? Because you can't hide the exhale. I've been smoking for a while. I kind of know that you can't hide the exhale. Okay? And I think unless you're Bill Clinton, right? Yeah, maybe Bill, yeah, I smoked a joint, but I didn't exhale. Well, I didn't inhale. Well, you still got to exhale? You got to let out something. If you're smoking a cigar, if you're smoking a cigarette, if you're vaping, you got to exhale. So nobody ever talks about that. One idiot retweets it. The other idiot retweets it. One radio show talks about it. One podcast talks about it. They talk about it on TV. They talk about it everywhere. Oh, he's vaping. He's vaping. How come nobody vaped the exhale? I mean, a video, the exhale. I don't see an exhale. Please send me the video where he exhaled. That's because he probably didn't vape. But it sounds great, right? It sounds great because he sounds like a stoner. He sounds like the Spicoli coach at times at the podium. I get that part. I understand that. So then we put one and one together and we say he's vaping and getting high on the sidelines. Or whatever, CBD or whatever, because plenty of people vape CBD. Where's the exhale? And then the problem is with Tua and you injury, mongers, fear mongers, you don't look at the facts. He gets hit all the time regularly and he's fine, but when he starts to hold on to the ball, that's when all the other stuff happens. And so it's simple. Get rid of the ball, dude. You get rid of the ball and you'll live for, another play. Cutter's Edge Pro. Let's talk about William and Mike, man. Listen, if you are looking to take your home, your condominium, your business to the next level, presentation, it just takes it. Listen, for us, we had Cutter's Edge Pro come into our home and completely give our home a facelift, front yard and backyard. Compliments all the time from our neighbors all over the place. They love the work, and they've already called Cutter's Edge Pro, by the way, in our cul-de-sac to do work. And the other thing is it increases the value of your business, your complex, your home. You can immediately sell your home for more money once you add landscaping to it. And then here's the other thing. You and I are paying mortgage or rent for the entire property, okay? Well, then use the entire property, right? You're paying every month the bank. You own that house. You pay for the mortgage. And listen, man, make an oasis back there. That's one of the things we've done with the artificial turf for our dogs, all the trees and everything. Now it's a cool backyard. There's less sun coming in because we've got this the beautiful Sylvester palm tree we got one in the front yard, we got one in the backyard, and they are just absolutely awesome. They add so much to your home. Check out those Sylvester palms and the quality of trees also that you're getting from Cutter's Edge. You can go to some other landscapers out there. They might charge you a little less, but guess what? You're also getting a lot less product, a lot less quality work. And then when weeds start to grow out all over the place, and you're saying, wow, I thought these guys did this the right way, and then you're going to regret it. Call Cutter's Edge Pro. They do it right. Tree trim removals. I don't want you getting on your roof and getting in trouble and falling off. Landscape design, outdoor lighting, irrigation design and build, and that artificial turf. If you own dogs like we do, artificial turf is beautiful. It's great overall, even if you don't have dogs, because you walk out to the backyard and then you got to come in and you got to worry about bringing something in. You never bring any dirt in. You never bring any mud in. You never bring anything in. It's a beautiful thing. And you save thousands of dollars in the long run, because over the next several years, guess what? You're not watering the lawn. You're not cutting the grass every 10 days because it grows so damn much here in South Florida. So you're going to save yourself a lot of money. Really easy to manage. Call the folks at Cutter's Edge Pro, Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach counties, wherever you're at in South Florida, 954-472-0622. That's 954-472-0622 for CuttersEdgePro.com. Marcel Louis Jacques will join. Alan Poupart will join us next.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
All right. And by the way, Nelson, some of you just make crap up. Javon Holland's not better than Minka, no matter how much you want to think Greer found another safety because Flores messed up. Hey, listen, we can argue if you want that he's his equal, better, less than, whatever. It doesn't matter. Bottom line is the front office made a great pick in Minka and made a great pick in Javon Holland, okay? And by the way, the fact that there's really not much of a difference or they could be equal and you got him in the second round compared to the first, it actually becomes one hell of a pick. It becomes even more impressive. The fact that this front office got two of the maybe 5 best young safeties in the NFL, that's pretty impressive, dude. I don't care how you want to slice it. All right, let's get to the man, the myth, the legend. That is Alan Poupart. How you feeling, man? You feeling good?
Yep, doing well. I like your hat. Very cool.
Thank you, sir. It is. I got it at Caneswear. They got a bunch of old logo hats, and I'm an old logo guy, so I definitely fell in love with it, and I got to get it and pick it up. I saw where the defensive coordinator from Philadelphia said he was staying and he wasn't going anywhere. It doesn't look like anybody wants Sean Payton, actually, at his price, the demands, the trade compensation, or something like that. So I was afraid that Fangio may not be Miami wasn't his top priority, but I think that it was one of his priorities, but I think it kind of worked out for Miami that the other places looked like they were kind of falling apart, the other destinations for him overall. Your thoughts on how Miami landed Fangio?
Well, let's start with the fact that it's not official yet. It was reported by NFL Network.
Art Pelissero. And then Mike Klis then came out and said it's not finalized yet. I think it's agreed to.
Between that, it was confirmed by all the beat guys.
Yes.
Including myself. And then Mike Klis came out with his story. And now there's reporting that it's an issue of going back and forth between Carolina and the Dolphins as the two teams involved. And nothing's official as of what time is it now? 11:35 on Monday morning, which is a tad unusual because we got confirmation, from a league source shortly after it came out, which was yesterday morning. So interesting. But the Dolphins were always going to be involved because of his relationship with Mike McDaniel through their common agent, Richmond Flowers. He's obviously got a tie with the Panthers because he was their first defensive coordinator in '95 when their quarterback was Frank Reich, who's now the head coach. And then I think you and I both know that money is not an object. If Mike McDaniel tells Stephen Ross,
"Oh yeah,
I really would like to get this guy," but it's going to take some money, and Stephen Ross is going to say, "Okay, tell me how much," and you got it. So,
right.
No, we'll see, but it's a great get for the Dolphins. Of the 4 candidates that they interviewed, he's clearly the most established guy. He's got the track record.
Dude, what is the connection? Because they've never worked together.
They share the same agent.
That's all it is? Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. That's it. Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, that's you know what? He's probably gotten to know him somewhere at some point.
Correct.
Somehow, something there, and he must have put those two together, and
Correct.
they must have hit it off on something. You know what I mean? It just there was too much of a connection the entire time that everybody was mentioning it since last year. And by the way, this is also, I don't know how you feel about this, but I think this is also a great sign for the Dolphins that a young guy like this can build a great offensive staff, because he did that. And then you played human Jenga, and he inherited the other 2/3 of the team. Now he gets to kind of make his own way. And dude, that's a knockout position right there to say, okay, I'm going to get Vic Fangio as my defensive coordinator. That's the polar opposite of what you just had in Flo, where Flo knew defense just like McDaniel knew offense, but he couldn't figure out the other half of the team. Whereas here's this guy in his second year, and he goes out and gets one of the 5 best defensive coordinators. I just think this bodes so well. Oh, by the way, he kept Bevel. Okay? That's super strong offseason for Mike McDaniel. Man.
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, without question, Mike McDaniel has respect around the league as a bright young guy, without question. And if Vic Fangio didn't respect the guy, he wouldn't come here. But let's also not be naive and completely dismiss the fact that financial considerations are going to come into play. If there was a huge difference in the offer between the Panthers and the Dolphins, chances are he'd be going with the Carolina. But this is where Stephen Ross, as we've said all along, never afraid to spend to get the guy that his people want.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. Are you expecting a lot of changes on this defense?
Not a ton. I think, like, the one guy, it's funny because that's who you were talking about when I came on. The one guy I would expect to take the biggest jump, just strictly because of the arrival of Vic Fangio, is Javon Holland. I think like the needle's pointing upward for him, like, big time. I think up front, mind you, his style is less aggressive than what the Dolphins have been operating under the last few seasons, and that's going to put more pressure on the guys to generate their own pass rush up front, which has been a problem, if we're going to be very honest about it. I do think they need to get their hands on a stud linebacker because this defense calls for it.
Yes.
And
a stud middle linebacker that can fly around, and what's it called? That's the good thing about Fangio now, that he will describe the player, and then Chris, Marvin, and Reggie will then go search for that guy and then give him a list of 3-4 guys and say, what do you think about this, coach? And then, that'll help out. I think that's the other positive, that Fangio will help you identify the player he needs. You'll probably give him a group of those guys, and then he'll decide on that guy. I think that's a huge get for that.
No, and it wouldn't surprise me if it turned out that the Dolphins' first pick, which will be in the second round, turned up to be an off-the-ball linebacker. Because on defense, that to me screams like a major need. And no offense to Jerome Baker, who did some good things under the previous scheme, but he's not that guy. Landon Roberts, I actually thought played very well, but he's got his limitations.
Great, he's just a down linebacker. That's his problem, unfortunately.
Well, he's got physical limitations. I mean, he'll never be faster. That's not who he is. But again, given what he has to work with, I thought he actually had a very good year. And then they have a bunch of free agents, as they did last year. They re-signed like a ton of their inside linebackers, their backup inside guys last year. Duke Riley, Sam Eguavoen, guys are on a skep. They had 4 of them. They all re-signed them to 1-year deals. Now they're all back to being free agents. I'm not expecting them to re-sign all of them like they did last year.
All right. When do we expect this to be kind of finalized and be official? Because it's the Dolphins haven't released anything yet, right? So that kind of tells me that maybe to me, this is all like, I think they agreed to the deal and they haven't signed it yet. I think that's kind of what it is, but whatever, you tell me.
No, except I'd be, if it's gonna if it's happening, it's, to me, it'd be a shock if it wasn't announced like today, and maybe even while we're talking. I mean, there's no reason to drag this on. Again, if the T's are, I hate to use the cliche, but if the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted,
No, I'm 1,000% with you. What'd you think of the games yesterday?
Both disappointing in their own way. The 49ers Eagles game is like, I was expecting this great, defensive struggle and all that. And then the 49ers QBs both not. And I tweeted this.
I mean, Josh Johnson is just terrible, dude. You're not getting anywhere with that guy. You knew you were done.
I think they would have had a fighting chance because they at least could throw the ball. But it also boggles the mind to me how you get into the playoffs where, unless I'm severely mistaken, there are no longer any limits on how many times you can elevate players from a practice squad, why you would not elevate a third quarterback to your game day roster to be protected just in the event something like what happened yesterday happened.
You're so right, bro. You're so right. It's just this hard on that they have now about, God, we grew up where they always had 3 quarterbacks active. Always, dude.
Correct.
I mean,
49ers didn't even have one on their practice squad. Did you know that? They didn't
no,
have a quarterback on their practice squad.
I did not know that they didn't have one in there, which is just absolutely stupid
Yeah.
that you would do something like that and put yourself in that position. And now, okay, Purdy's been, pretty what's it called, durable.
Correct.
So maybe that's why they rolled and they took the when you're playing with Tua, because of the history, you kind of know already this year that they're probably going to go in with 3 quarterbacks again because of, unless Tua stays healthy for the next year or two, then they can say, all right, we can dial it back now. We can go with 2. Tua's kind of figured this thing out and all that. But for now, I understand that. With the Purdy thing, you can almost understand why you still went with 2. You can kind of understand that.
I can understand it. I can understand it for the active roster. But to me, you get to a playoff game, and unless I'm mistaken, I didn't see if they had any elevations on Saturday. First of all, why wouldn't you have a 3rd guy on the practice squad? And then why wouldn't you elevate him for the playoff game just in case the wildest scenario occurs? So that game turned into a joke. And then because I was like, it was a 31-7 game, and I wasn't particularly overwhelmed by the Eagles, who I think are actually a really, really good team.
Actually, Hurts was missing people. Yeah.
I thought he was bad yesterday. I mean, they didn't blow me away in the least. And then they took a quick 7-0 lead. And if Kyle Shanahan is quick on his feet and challenges that 4th down catch, that's an incompletion.
Yeah.
And then the other game, and again, this may be my bias because I'm so sick of seeing the Chiefs in there, but I don't recall a more one-sided officiated game in a long time. I mean, and this is mentioning the fact that
except for the Osai call.
No, that one you had to call. That was just a brain part. But it seemed like every close call. And there was one. In fairness, there was one pretty lame unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the offensive lineman Wiley because he made some gestures after.
No, they were bad. They were bad yesterday.
Yeah, but there were so many ticky-tack calls, and it seemed like every one of them went for the Chiefs. And the ending was so anticlimactic that you're looking at the possibility of going to overtime, and then you get that really, really bad penalty, and it's like Butker's going to miss. I mean, that dude's money. So
yeah, and I was talking about this. That's a penalty you try in the first and second quarter, because the trade-off at that moment, okay, well, we give up a field goal, but I had a chance to knock Mahomes out. Well, at that moment, that's not what you want to do. At that moment, you got to use your head. I almost understand those guys that take a risk early in the game. It's not right, taking a dirty shot or whatever, but I get the trade-off at that moment. It's kind of like in basketball. The lesser player tries to bait the star into, going at it, and then both of them get thrown out, and the head coach is going, okay, I don't mind. I got rid of my 8th player, and they got rid of their star, so I'll take that trade-off for the rest of the game. I understand that, and that's where Osai just screwed up. That's not the place you take the gamble. You got to have better awareness than that.
Yeah, but here's the thing in his defense. When he's chasing Mahomes, busting ass, running to the sideline, I'm pretty sure he's not looking down and saying, okay, where's the sideline? His eyes are strictly focused on Mahomes.
Right.
And then he sees Mahomes that kind of started slowing down a little bit. So
right.
maybe completely lost, spatial awareness and didn't quite know where he was and did the shove. And Mahomes kind of sold it a little bit too, if we're going to be honest about it. And
yeah,
they kind of gave him no choice.
You got to sell that. That was a dirty play, and you sell it. So what? Who cares? It was a penalty. It was the right call. There's nothing about whatever you want to say about Mahomes, because I've heard that too, and it's whatever, bro. It's not a big deal.
If it's hockey, Osai would have gotten a penalty, and Mahomes might have gotten a penalty for embellishment.
Maybe,
but this is not hockey, so
no, it's not hockey. No, and he would have run into a wall, which would have hurt a little bit more too, for Pat Mahomes. And you might have gotten knocked out at that moment if you're running into a wall, by the way. What do you think about the Super Bowl now?
Yeah, here's the thing. I think it looks like it's been Philly's year the whole year. I made the comment on Twitter. I think the NFC is really bad to me. It was so top heavy. And the other thing, the Eagles had such an easy path to the Super Bowl, but it's got to feel like it's their year. I think they might have problems if they don't get to Mahomes, but the Chiefs do have a very good offensive line, but that Eagles defensive line is no joke. I'd be inclined to think Philly's going to win. Yeah, that's where I would say it.
You're going with the better line and D line. That's what you're doing. I got you.
Correct, but Chris Jones can be a game wrecker. Except the Eagles' offensive line is really good, and the
Eagles'
Bengals
offensive line is the best offensive line in football, bro, and their D line is the best defensive line in football with all their damn sacks. So right now, there's a reason why it's not just Jalen Hurts is fantastic this year. That O line and that D line are just absolutely sick, bro. They control the line of scrimmage.
That's the biggest reason they're Super Bowl. No offense to Jalen Hurts, but it's the O line and the D line. I mean,
I agree with you. And your pick makes all the sense in the world that you're going with the team with the strongest O-line and D-line. The good thing for Kansas City, they've got Pat Mahomes.
Correct.
That's the good thing for Kansas City, that they've got, an ultimate eraser like Montana or Brady or, any of those other guys in the past that we've ever talked about, those guys that are just, special. And you look, yesterday, as great as Joe Burrow is, and we love the kid, and he's fantastic, he played like dog crap yesterday. He made a bunch of bad throws. He got a couple of interceptions. And when you look at Mahomes, he made the much better throws throughout the game. And that's just the bottom line, I think.
Well, he also had a lot better protection. Here's the other point that needs to be made about the Super Bowl is the Chiefs' O-line isn't the disaster in terms of health that it was 2 years ago when they got in the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay, where Mahomes was running for his life the entire night.
Amen. And somebody putting Chris Jones as a game wrecker, that that might just be the most important player on that side of the ball for the Super Bowl, like Mahomes is on the other side. If Chris Jones isn't a game wrecker, I don't know how Kansas City wins.
He was the game MVP yesterday to me, and wasn't even close.
Yes. But he has to do that against a better line next week.
Correct.
Philadelphia's nasty, bro. They are nasty. I got to give them, a lot of credit. Special teams wise, I almost get the feeling that they already knew where they were going on defense, so Josh can get a jump ahead, and so that's good. They did him a favor too at the same time. But on the other side, do you think Crossman is staying, or is that a position that he wasn't sure, so you hang on to Crossman until you can find something better?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised by that one because their special teams were just plain bad. I mean, they were just bad.
Apparently, his agent doesn't represent a special teams coach that he likes.
There you go. No, and then I think part of it that may have been it too. I mean, would Mike McDaniel have been as quick to jump the gun on Josh Boyer if he didn't have Vic Fangio or somebody else that he really liked? Looming in the background, whereas the case isn't the same when it comes to Danny Crossman. So
tomorrow I'll be running into a whole bunch of coaches' agents, and I'm going to start digging in and find out what the hell's going on that side. So I'll be roaming the fields in Mobile.
Yeah, and as far as I know, that I don't know of any connection between Mike McDaniel and Danny Crossman, who was another guy he inherited. I don't recall the Dolphin special teams being all that great in 2021 either. So not sure why he was kept in the first place. And then the special teams were downright bad last year. So that's a little bit of a strange one for me.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right. You looking into anything that Tua is not taking part in the Pro Bowl? Because to me, doesn't mean shit, but whatever.
It doesn't mean, no. Means less than that, actually.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm actually, I think what he needs is just an off season where he just gets to recover and rest, and instead of going to the Pro Bowl, what I think, my problem with all of this is I think people are missing the boat on what really is going on. I don't think he wants to go. I don't think he needs to go. And then the most important thing, I don't think he wants to deal with all the BS, because if he goes, what's the questions that he's going to be constantly asked for several days?
Of course.
So who wants that misery, dude? Just take a couple months off, get away from everybody, and then come back and turn the page and start fresh and start talking football. And a couple months from now, you can't talk about it. But now you're still fresh from all this stuff. That's all he's going to do is get bombarded with crap. Why even take that on?
Well, but Big O, let's be honest. Whenever he does his next media availability, however form it takes, whenever it happens, all the questions are going to be about his health and the concussions.
Yes. Yes. But see, the good thing is when that starts again, it's only for a moment. And then you turn the page and you start playing football, and all you got to do is start talking about practice and everything else. But for a whole couple days in Vegas, that's all he's going to get the entire time. He's just going to get bombarded with all of that, because it won't be about football, because the Pro Bowl's not about football. But at least in training camp, you'll get that first day. Okay, how was your off season? This, that, how you feel? Great, boom. And then that's it. And you're going to Bob Seger it right away.
Turn the page. Very nice. I like it. I love Bob Seger references. I'm not one of those. I'll be honest, because even if he were to go to the Pro Bowl, and it would be one day, one time where he would deal with all of those questions, and that would be the end of it, because then either he wouldn't do any more media the following day, or he would just
He has sponsors.
Well, correct. Or it would be like, guys, I talked about it yesterday. No need to rehash, and nobody would hold a grudge against him. But the bottom line is, I mean, it's not even the Pro Bowl anymore, which was, as we know, a joke to begin with. Now it's the Pro Bowl game, so we don't get to see him play flag football. I mean, who gives a shit, like you said?
All right. Well, they got a plan in place. We'll see what ends up happening. Do you expect him to be active in free agency?
Moderately, because they don't have a ton of cap space. They have some business to attend to. Primarily the running back position. They basically have nobody under contract. I can't imagine they're going to be signing a ton of like big money guys. That's going to be more about maintaining. There's going to be some restructuring of contracts. Tyreek Hill. I would expect Christian Wilkins to get an extension, which will help with the cap, because you can structure it in a way where it's less painful than the 5th-year option in the first place. But the idea of like going out and getting a Teron Armstead and a Bradley Chubb or Tyreek Hill in free agency, even I know 2 of those were trades, but players of that stature in free agency, I certainly wouldn't count on it.
All right. What are one of your 86 articles that you're working on today? What are you doing at alldolphins.com that every Dolphin fan on the planet needs to bookmark?
Well, it's going to be Fangio stuff, digging into statistical research now, and then going to continue my top 10 list. I think today I'm going to do the top 10 transaction personnel moves of 2022.
Okay. All right. Well, Fangio's number 1 in 2023, baby. Holy moly. That is.
It'll become official first, though.
Yeah, it's official, bro. I'm not. If I don't think Pelissero reports shit that's wrong, dude. He's pretty damn good. I got a lot of respect for that guy, man. He's well connected. If he throws it out there, I just think it's agreed upon, and it just hasn't been finalized.
Bro, like I said, it's not just Pelissero. Like all the beat guys, we have confirmed it.
Right. I know that all the beat guys confirmed it, but what I'm saying is normally Pelissero is kind of like Woj. Like when they drop it, they're pretty responsible dudes, bro. They're not just gonna,
Doesn't change the fact that for me, I'd like it to become like official. I would get get the email from the Dolphins saying, press release, the Dolphins.
John Hancock, bro. Exactly. You're not going to get it until the John Hancock is done. That's what it is.
Correct.
That's all it is. Hey, he's probably going to use the team plane a couple times to go visit the girlfriend out West Coast, and the mom is the mom on the West Coast of Florida or on the East Coast of Florida?
Who, Vic Fangio?
Yeah.
Oh,
I forgot now.
I don't know details of his personal life.
Oh, well, you should listen to the Ben Albright interview. We had Ben, obviously, you know him. He's over in Denver. He told us Fangio's mother's here, his girlfriend, who's a surgeon, a big-time surgeon in Southern California.
Nice.
And so the idea was, does he take something closer to the girlfriend? Does he take something closer to the East Coast? He has family in Philadelphia. So he's consulting with the Eagles.
Correct.
So a lot of people thought that, okay, since he has family there and consulting, if the defensive coordinator takes the Houston job, which now DeMeco Ryans is, okay, then he replaces him because he's already consulting. He stays with the family. East Coast, he can connect with his mom in Florida. Well, now he takes this job, so he's got his mom here. So then it'll be a back and forth with the girlfriend out in the West Coast.
What I was told is he has a home in Santa Clara, which brought about the 49ers connection.
Right. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
How about that? So the man is like Sagua Fair. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. And he didn't have any roots anywhere related to Carolina, except he had a connection with Frank Reich, and David Tepper was throwing money at him.
Right. And David Tepper's got a lot of money to throw.
But so does Stephen Ross. And Stephen Ross,
amen,
not getting any younger, and he wants to try to make some hay in the playoffs.
Yep. No doubt about it. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. And remember, if you're a Dolphins fan, you're really not an official Dolphins fan if you don't bookmark alldolphins.com. That is the source right there, alldolphins.com. Alan, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up later on in the week, my friend.
You got it. Thanks, Big O.
Thank you, sir. There you go, the great Alan Poupart, baby. And our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. And remember, when we talk about Eric and all the great people at EJD Construction, some of you know, because over the last few years, some of you have called EJD Construction and you've experienced it for yourself. First class, the way he handles the clients. He will listen to you to make sure he actually builds what you want, what you're searching for. Right, Alarmo? That's what it's all about. Fully insured liability and workers' comp. So everybody that steps on your property is fully insured. Anybody gets injured, they're not suing you. Make sure. If you don't hire EJD Construction, whoever you ever hire to work in your home or your business, they got to show you proof that they're fully insured, because if somebody gets injured, they're going to sue you. And that's a problem you don't need. EJD Construction, 305-433-4843, fully insured, AAA rating from the Better Business Bureau, and they do it all. We're talking about custom home construction and major home remodeling, 305-433-4843. And let me tell you, they do shell construction in-house. That's how they keep the cost down, and they can do anything that you need. Add a second floor, build a brand new kitchen and modernize it. Whatever you want to do, they can do it for you. 305-433-4843. Go to the Instagram page, ejdconstruction.com, and you'll see some amazing work by a great company. Dade or Broward County, call 305-433-4843. Hour number 3 is next. Marcel Louis-Jacques will start it off.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Time to get the edge on the Miami Dolphins with our Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins report. When you want the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste, you can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com. Here's the ESPN Dolphin insider Marcel Louis-Jacques.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. Yeah, baby. The slacker, too. He did nothing this weekend. He just hung out, right? Is that what you did this weekend? You just hung out?
No work, no stories, no breaking news.
Good for you.
Didn't do anything.
So are you believing the breaking news of Vic Fangio?
Yeah. Look, y'all, reached an agreement and not finalized, or reached an agreement and finalized are not mutually exclusive. You know what I mean? Like you can reach an agreement.
Can we just say we're waiting for a signature? That's all.
Let's like, you know what I mean? Like, I agree. If Haley invites me and says, "Hey, come to this thing, on this weekend in Dallas," and I say, "Yeah, okay, we've reached an agreement. I just haven't bought the ticket yet, but I'm going to go." Like, she has an award ceremony. I haven't bought my flight, but I am going. We've reached the agreement. It doesn't mean I'm not going there. Like, obviously, like, there are scenarios, Josh McDaniels in Indianapolis where you can agree and back out, but those are few and far between. Those are rare. They've reached an agreement. Like, I've not been told anything to the contrary other than one guy, Mike Kills, is the only person I've seen report that. I guess maybe Josina did. I don't know if she's piggybacking or not, but I don't. It's agreed to. You guys, they reached an agreement. Unless he has a sudden change of heart before signing, it's coming. He's coming.
I'm with you there. From what I found out, it's just a matter of the signature, bro. That's all, to kind of get it all finalized. It's probably what it is, what's happening overall. So I'm sure we'll get a final word on this in the next day or two here, and they'll end up finalizing it. Now, you talked about this too, that the connection between him and Peyton wasn't that, maybe it wasn't as concrete. But I also, if you start looking at the landscape, the Philadelphia defensive coordinator's not leaving, so then that spot wasn't opening up, and nobody is making waves for Sean Payton. No one. So it's not so much about, the connection between Payton and this guy may not be as, whatever. Really, all the other options dried out for him. So if he had Philly as a top option, which would be smart, obviously, because he's consulting already for them. The guy leaves, he steps in, he inherits a great defense. So I understand all of that, and they'll pay there too, like they'll pay in Carolina and they'll pay in Miami. So money's not an issue there. But the part I find very interesting is that after all the crap that's been talked about Sean Payton, I don't see any NFL team moving heaven and earth for him.
I mean, what did we discuss were the top destinations? It was Houston, and they're going to go DeMeco Ryans.
Exactly.
Carolina kind of surprisingly went Frank Reich.
Right.
Arizona is about to interview Lou Anarumo, and so like they're still on the table, I guess. But like it's drying up, and then Denver. I just don't think Denver is that attractive of a destination.
Well, Ben Albright told us last week he's not part of the mix. He's out. He's not in for Denver.
And I trust that. I trust Albright in Denver, where with all matters Broncos. So, like, yeah, I mean, like, sure, Fangio could have said, "Oh well, the market's drying up. Let me do what's best for me and not what's best for us as a whole." But if you're saying like we're teaming up, you team up in Arizona, you can team up in wherever the hell else Sean Payton's going to go. Like, so like you can hold out. He could have held out if he was hell bent on it, but Vic Fangio did what's best for Vic Fangio, which is the right thing to do. Do what's best for yourself.
Right, but you're passing up a fat ass check here in Miami already, and you can set yourself where your mom's here too in Florida. You know what I mean? He's got the girlfriend in California, the mom here. He has family in Philadelphia. So these are kind of the whole things. And that's why I think the whole San Francisco thing, people, may have talked about it a little bit, over there. So just, I think that's kind of the way things have worked out. Like, but isn't it funny that you really don't hear anybody's moving heaven and earth for Sean Payton, which, the perception was that, there was going to be like a line wanting him. Well, there's no line, bro. There's no line at all.
I think he's overplayed. I think he might have overplayed his hand a bit. Like he might have overplayed the hype of Sean Payton just a little bit too much. Little bit too much. Like you are a Super Bowl winning coach. Yeah. Can't take anything away from you there.
When I brought Albright on last week, he brought up a great nugget. Did you know he had like 6 or 7 losing seasons with Drew Brees?
That's what I was getting at. You won a Super Bowl in what, 2009?
Yeah.
Was it 2009 or 20? It was 2009. It wasn't 2012. So with a Hall of Fame quarterback, and then didn't necessarily achieve a whole lot of success after that. You played in a bad conference or bad division, where your only real competition was the Falcons and then the Panthers every few years. The Buccaneers were a non-factor for at least a decade.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think like I think you have to be wary about these big name one Super Bowl head coaches. Like same with John Gruden, where like it became such a spectacle to get him out of retirement that the Raiders paid $100 million for a guy that did jack in Oakland, and he did nothing for you. He did nothing. He accomplished nothing more. Him and Mike Mayock. So like that's what the thing. Like I think Sean Payton is a good coach. I don't think Sean Payton. It's not like if Bill Belichick retired and then said, "Hey, I want to come back for a few years." You move heaven and earth for Bill Belichick. You know what I mean? Like if Andy Reid decided to take some years off and wants to come back, you move heaven and earth for Andy Reid.
Right.
I don't know moving heaven and earth for Sean Payton, who is a good coach. He's a good coach, but I'm not going to put Sean Payton among best coach of all time in the best coach of all time ranks. I don't know.
No, not even.
I think he's a good coach. He's a good coach. You won a Super Bowl with the Hall of Famer. Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl with the Hall of Famer. You think people are going to move heaven and earth for Mike McCarthy if he retired and decided to come back?
No, not at all.
2 years to get another job, did it not?
I like your line that he overplayed he overplayed his own Sean Payton hype. And I think you're right. I think he came because he sounds like it even on television. There's a level of arrogance with him. And I wonder if that arrogance he has, kind of stepped into these interviews like, I know what I'm doing. I know what to do to fix your franchise, that kind of stuff. And I'm wondering if he's rubbed people the wrong way because there's no fight for him whatsoever, dude. In fact, I don't even know of a team that's really going all out for him because, when you really want somebody, I've seen it down here. When you want Parcells, you're not interviewing anybody else. When you want Saban, you're not really going after anybody else. You know what I'm saying? When you want Vic Fangio, you're not really going after anybody else, like when you have a conviction for a coach or a player or whatever, you're not really screwing around with a second option because you don't want to insult the first option. You get what I'm saying? And in this case, it's like, I've seen teams go after Pat Riley or Jimmy Johnson or whatever, all these coaches over the years. And you never see them going after another coach on the side. No, dude. If you really want Sean Payton, you're going full court blitz on him, and this is it, and this is our guy. That's not the case.
Yeah, I think he's good enough to command 10+ million a year. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not giving him Belichick money. Just to do what, man? To do what? Like, you guys had a good roster with a good quarterback.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen you do that without Hall of Fame caliber quarterback talent.
Right.
And those kind of quarterbacks are running low right now. Kyler Murray's a good player. He's not a Hall of Famer. Russell Wilson right now is not looking like a Hall of Famer. No. I think body of work, possibly, but right now it doesn't look very good.
No, I haven't,
And that's a lot of egos, man. Sean Payton has an ego.
Yeah,
Russell Wilson has an ego. That's normal
too. But that's normal too.
It didn't work with Pete Carroll.
Those kind of people all have egos. I mean, you got to have an ego in what you do also. What the hell?
There's ego, and I have an ego, but I can, I'm a good coworker. I play the game.
I get that, but I'm talking about ego in the sense of the confidence that you have in yourself. We all have to have it in whatever walk of life. If you're a chef, you have to have the ego that, hey man, I'm the best.
Well, there's ego and there's confidence. There's ego and there's confidence. Like, okay, I think Sean Payton thinks Sean Payton is the shit. You know what I mean? I don't know if Sean Payton and Russell Wilson right now can coexist. Maybe if Russell Wilson was truly humbled by this past year, it could work. But I don't know. Like, I thought Sean Payton would have been the first domino to fall with all we hear about him. I've been kind of checked out of the head coaching search this year, since we don't have to worry about that, thank God. But look, I told you, like, once the first domino fell, they're going to start coming. We saw Frank Reich. We're going to see DeMeco Ryans probably, I would say, before the end of this week. Like, I would imagine we're hearing too much smoke there. I would imagine that's coming quickly. Then Denver and Arizona are going to have to make their choices, unless Denver or Arizona is really holding out for Lou. But I mean, they're out now, so I guess you can.
Well, they're certainly not holding out for Sean Payton, that's for sure.
So,
no. By the way, yesterday you didn't have a problem with that call against Cincinnati. I mean, there were some other funky calls in that game, but the one with Osai, that was one that had to be called. I mean, not a problem with that, right?
No, none at all. I saw Emmanuel Acho complain about, we're talking about the refs too much. I'm not saying that that's the wrong call, but refs shouldn't decide a game. They should call it. Well, you're also, you shouldn't hit a player 5 yards out of bounds. You shouldn't hit a quarterback 5 yards out of bounds. You shouldn't hit it. He's clearly running OB. That's bad situational player awareness. No, it deserves the penalty 10 times out of 5. That's a penalty. Like, to complain about it, I think is stupid. It's stupid to complain about it. He did it. Like, and if they don't call it, then Chiefs fans are going to say, what the hell? Like, now we have to try a 58-yard field goal, a 60-yard field goal to win instead of a 45 or whatever it was. Yes, like, you're going to make somebody mad no matter what you do. You might as well make the right call. That was the right call. I didn't really like CBS's cameras, going back to Osai like every 3 seconds. It was like,
oh, we love the drama. We love it. And then
Osai, and then look at Travis Kelce. And then it was Osai and look at Pat Mahomes. Then it was Osai and here's some Chiefs fans. And it's back to Osai. It was like, bro, we get it. Like, I'm not saying like leave him alone, give him his privacy. I'm just saying, like, dude, it's gratuitous. We understand. We've seen him. Ain't shit changed. He's still crying. Like I don't need the live cam on it. I don't need the second screen, the picture in picture.
It's what we do. It's what we do, bro. It's what we do. It's how we write it. It's how we talk about it. It's what we do. You know what I mean? It's the sensationalistic part of it. So we want to capture the failed human being and how their reaction, and see if they're kicking things and throwing, and see if they're crying, and see if they're bitching people out or whatever. And then we want to use that against them. You know, we want to bait it out of them, and then we want to use it against them. That's what we do in our society, right? You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that I'll like yesterday, you saw the PJ Hall thing that he's next to him, you know, getting his back. I thought that was actually really cool on PJ's part because, you know, some players, you know, Marcel, you've been in enough locker rooms. There are some people, human beings, we're not all intelligent. We're not all the brightest bulbs in the chandelier. And you know how it is, Marcel. There are players you can bait. There are players you can set up. And you can get certain things out of them. You can bait them into certain situations. And writers know about this. You know what I mean? And so that's an emotional person at that moment. And, you know, remember Ryan Leaf when he exploded on that reporter? Do you think that reporter didn't know that you can, you know, kind of go after Ryan Leaf a little bit, that he's a little bit off kilter? They knew it. They know it.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I didn't love the whoever filmed and put out the video of Jermaine Pratt complaining, like yelling, what if you hit the quarterback, like on his way back to the on his way back to the locker room. I thought, like, all right, like technically, yes, you are allowed to film that. You are technically, yes, allowed to put that out. But you are also allowed to get the consequences, the emotional and relationship affecting consequences of doing that. So like if I'm Jermaine Pratt, I'm no longer talking to that station. I'm not doing one-on-ones with you. I'm giving you basic bland answers if y'all ask me a question, and it's the juice worth the squeeze. You know what I mean? Like that's such a big thing to remember as a reporter. Like I know a lot of stuff that I could start blurting out right now, but a lot of people would stop talking to me. A lot of people would stop trusting me.
I'm with you. I know.
You know what I mean? Like
I've been in that position.
You could easily have said, if you insist on getting anything out, you could easily have said Bengals players frustrated, at least one Bengals player frustrated at that call as he enters the locker room, complaining, why would you hit the quarterback? You could say it. You don't have to dime people out like that. I would have stayed away from it altogether and maybe just ask Jermaine about it in the actual locker room. But hindsight's 2020, and I understand like the pressure, and once your adrenaline is going, like sometimes you don't think about filtering.
Well, he's also got, the players also got to be smarter and got to know, dude, I'm out in the public right now at the moment. I don't need to air my dirty laundry in public. He should have waited to get into the locker room to whatever, you know, have it out with his teammate or I don't, you know, at that moment, I don't think he's really going after the teammate. I think he's just airing frustrations out. I don't think, like at this moment right now, this morning, I don't think he's hating Osai at all. I think he feels bad for his teammate right now, I think is what it is. But at that moment, they're all pissed, bro, because they're a couple plays away from being in the Super Bowl, dude. I mean, you know, it's frustrating to work that hard all season long, and it comes down to that one play. I'm sure a lot of players felt like he did. You know?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm. You know, it's all understandable. All right, so tell me about the Fangio hire. What do you like about it?
I mean, with the talent and now coaching here, there's no reason for this not to be a top 10 unit on both sides of the ball. For Miami to possess two top 10 units on either side of the ball. Offense has to be top 5. I think like that's the standard that they've set this past year. That defense has to be a top 10 unit. You're going all in. This is a devastating news for the rest of the AFC East, which might end up being, you know, Buffalo's got a lot of decisions to make. Buffalo's got a lot of decisions to make.
Yeah,
I tell you, I know some things.
Allen's salary, how it's kicking in now. Go ahead.
I tell you, I know some things, man. Like there might be a decent little surprise come free agency. But that's all I can say about that right now.
You talk about a secondary player from the Bills coming over here? Is that what you're saying?
Buffalo has some decisions to make. I'll just put it. I'll leave it at that. They got some decisions to make. That cap is tight, and the rest of the teams are getting better.
Did his father play for the Dolphins?
Did his father play for the Dolphins? I'm not giving any more information other than the Bills have some decisions to make. That's all we can say for now.
Did you see Farrell Edmonds hanging around here in South Florida or something?
That's all I'm gonna say for now.
By the way, you never saw his dad because you're too young, but his dad, unfortunately, did not have the hands. But let me tell you something, dude. That guy ran like a deer. One of the fastest tight ends I have ever seen in my life. A long strider, and when he would hang on to the ball, he could make some plays for you. Farrell Edmonds had it all to become like, you could tell why his two sons are studs, because the Lord blessed Farrell with some amazing gifts. The only thing he lacked was consistent hands. That's what stopped him from becoming a Pro Bowl, maybe an all-pro type player. But athletically, my brother, he had it all, man. He's one of those guys for Dolphin fans, old Dolphin fans like myself. We will always live with that memory of what if that guy had consistent hands. If he did, he had everything else, man. Everything else. Freak. Absolute freak.
Look, the Jets are a quarterback away. I think the Patriots can be fine with a real offensive coordinator. Fine, not groundbreaking, but the Patriots could go. They could beat you at least this year. Like I don't think he's like I don't think that offense is gonna be a complete joke again. But I think this is massive for the Dolphins' chances moving forward. People I've spoken with, Vic Fangio, hell of a defensive mind, more of a coordinator than a head coach. That he's better as a coordinator than he ever will be as a head coach, and that not that he ever will be as a head coach, but he's more than he ever was as a head coach because in part of the COVID seasons making things difficult. I've seen some rumors about like a testy relationship with Bradley Chubb. From what I'm told, no, Victor's a guy, he doesn't sugarcoat. He's a tough love kind of guy, but Bradley Chubb likes that coaching. Like Bradley Chubb wants to be coached. He doesn't want to be coddled. So like it's not an issue. It's not going to be an issue.
And their personalities won't. McDaniel wants a head coach of the defense, and that's basically what he's doing. He doesn't want to have to worry about this, so he just leaves it to Fangio, and then he's fine. I think this is a perfect relationship for him because Fangio knows he doesn't have anybody that's going to screw with him. He's going to be able to run the show on that side of the ball. And I think that's
what I said. That's what I said last week about Fangio and Peyton. Like Peyton is going to be all in your grill. Mike McDaniel's going to say, "Y'all good in here?
Right.
Temps are good. You want some? Y'all want some food in here? I'm gonna handle the offense. Y'all good in here?
Right.
Bet." And he's gonna take off. Like you don't have to worry about it. You wipe your hands and go worry about the play call. Go worry about this offense.
Luxury. It's a luxury, dude.
There are 4 former head coaches in college, high D1 college or NFL experience on this coaching staff now between McDaniel, Embry, Fangio, and Darrell Bevell was the interim coach in Jacksonville. That's a lot of in-charge experience here. Like it is a good staff. It is a good staff. We'll see what they do in free agency. Miami's got some financial decisions to make as well. Barry Jackson, though, did a good job breaking down how they could get out of it. I don't know how to find the article, but if you find it, it's a good piece. It's a good piece. But no, I think it's
that guy never sleeps. I'm convinced of that.
No,
there's no way you're covering Heat and Canes and Dolphins as much as he does and sleep. There's no way. He's not getting laid and he's not sleeping.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do
that. There's no way the man has any time to do anything. Maybe he squeezes in a shower, but that's about it. He can't sleep or get laid. I mean, stop working. It's amazing.
He is a machine for sure. But what I know about Barry is that he takes his vacation very seriously. So when he's off, he's off. So
that's true. That's true. He does disappear like if he was kidnapped. You are right. You are right.
I can't blame him. I'm about to do the same thing. I'm going to Mexico at the end of March. So maybe I'll see Eli Apple there.
Maybe. Maybe.
It's tough.
All right. One more thing before I let you go. McDaniel, hell of an offseason. You kept Bevel and you added Fangio. I don't know if a coach could have a better offseason right now on his staff. Forget the personnel side is a whole different thing. That's not just on him. That's on the front office. But for him to be able to retain Bevel and then add Fangio, my Lord, if a fan base wants a coach that can build a staff, this is exactly what you want.
Yeah, and I don't know what's happening with Crossman. I don't know what's happening with the special teams, but it is from a continuity standpoint.
Can I give you my theory? Can I give you my theory?
There's no better option out there?
Not yet. I think he knew where he was going defensively from the get-go from last year. And so he said, hey, Josh, we got to let you go. We appreciate everything you did. This gives you a chance to try to latch on somewhere else early in the process. Boom, they knew it. I think he's holding on to Crossman because he doesn't have the option that he's convinced is better yet. And I think you might find it this week, when we're in the walking around Mobile, maybe that's where he interviews a couple guys and then he settles in and says, okay, yeah, we can make this change. I think for Crossman, unfortunately, it's a bad situation for him because they might hold on to him to a point where once they let him go, he may not have a lot of options as much as, Josh Boyer could have at the moment because he's out in the process at least early on. So to me, I think they're just holding on to Crossman until they find that better option. Plus, it looks better as an organization that if you're still searching for somebody, but you have somebody in place instead of you're in a desperate situation that you have the hole open and everybody else knows you have the hole open. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying. Also, and I'm going to say this, no conversation from here because I got to run, but I'm going to say it just because we didn't talk about it. I don't think there's much reason for elevated concern about Tua's concussion. It's not like he's not like debilitated. He's not in just a dark room, still slurring his words, stomach. Like, no, the whole process, since people didn't read the story or didn't take it seriously, it's been a deliberate process. What the hell they have to rush him back for? What do you have to rush him? They're out of the playoffs. There's no practice. It's not a bye week. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason to rush him back. So they're saying, take every millisecond you can take, see every specialist, every doctor, it's an abundance of caution. Here, isn't that what they want? Like, isn't that what fans wanted? Like, all this retirement talk. No, he's not retiring.
As I told Poupart, what do you want to hurry him up to get him to the Pro Bowl for what? So he can answer 2 to 3 days questions about concussions? Get out of here, bro. He doesn't need it.
Guys, and what people don't understand about the protocol, first of all, I don't even know what the hell the protocol entails at this point when there's no practice. When there's no return to play, like the whole protocol, it's a return to play process. It's return to participation protocol. That's technically what it's called. What participate in what? Participate in what? There's nothing happening. So like I said, there's no progression through it. It's just like take it easy, take it slow. Everybody you see, everybody that you can. And not to mention, like, he could be in stage 4 of protocol. Again, even in season, stage 4 or step 4 of protocol is non-contact practice. Every practice is a non-contact practice for quarterbacks. So stage 4, step 4 is you're essentially cleared if you're a QB. You could be essentially cleared for however long. And it's just up to an independent neurologist when the team says, okay, we're going to this independent guy. Can you clear him? Right. Then you get clear. Like, again, it's not – I was just kind of like blown away by the response to like, wow, damn, like you guys are really – you're really shocked that he's in protocol still. Like,
Remember, you have a
Carter was in protocol all year, and nobody said anything about it.
Remember,
like it's pearl clutching.
Remember, Marcel, you have a certain section of people that never believed in the kid, that thought he couldn't play, and so now they're all dead wrong about him couldn't play. So now they'll ride the injury stuff because obviously that's the obvious thing that you have to ride. You can no longer say he's too short, his arm's not good enough, he can't run a high-powered offense, all that stuff. All you can talk about is the injuries. So since they were all dead wrong about that, they've all piled on to that, and then they'll ride that all the way through. And that's what they'll do. They're all a bunch of phonies. That's all. It's just they're trying to justify the fact that they were wrong that he couldn't play. And that's it. That's all, because everybody wanted suck for Tua. All of that stuff. Everybody wanted to suck for Tua. And then all of it, no, I didn't hear like the whole cries of, oh, he's constantly injured. I didn't hear enough of that. Now it's all over the place because that's all we have to hang on.
And it's just, again, like I see a comment here, it's just a Pro Bowl. It's just a Pro Bowl. It's just a Pro Bowl. Like there's no benefit for the team as a whole in letting him play.
By the way, Cap for life, never seen or heard of a pro player having a 2-month-long concussion. Cap
Literally, Ethan Carter has had a concussion.
Exactly. I'm this close from blocking your stupid ass because you're an uneducated mofo. Okay? Ethan Carter got a concussion at the end of the preseason and could never come back. And plenty of players have been gone for a long time because of concussions. So, my brother, if you're uneducated and you don't know what you're talking about, stop making statements that just sound stupid. Get educated. Plenty of players miss a hell of a lot more time than Tua does. Tua hasn't missed anything. There's nothing going on. There's no hurry to get back for anything. He needs to just take this time off for recovery purposes.
Yeah,
he doesn't need any of this shit. That's you making it up because Cap for life, you were probably one of those guys that said he couldn't play. So keep riding all the injury.
Like I would even be, I would. Tua's probably somewhere on a beach right now on vacation. Like I'm saying, like he's not like concussion protocol is it's a little different when you're not. There's no participation to return to. You know what I mean? Like there's just no reason to progress through it. Like he's still. So like it's not worth all of the. It's not worth all of the hoopla about it. Like he's fine.
Right.
He's fine. Like that's not, if you read the story that myself and Elizabeth Merrill put out on him about a month or so ago, Chris Nowinski, the guy who said that Tua should sue if he was allowed to play against the Bengals and got hurt again, the guy who is spearheading the concussion conversation, he told us there's no long-term, like there's no elevated long-term concern. Like as long as gets ample rest,
right,
that he can play, he can resume his NFL career, no worry. Like no
Sidney
more,
Crosby.
no additional worry. Obviously, there's always worry anytime you step on that football field. But like that guy said that no, Tua shouldn't retire.
Dude,
so
he used Sidney Crosby as an example. Sidney Crosby plays hockey, and he's had like 7 or 8 concussions, and he's kept his career going. And guess where he's headed to? The Hall of Fame. Okay? He didn't give up. He kept playing, but the key in between the concussions is the rest, is what Nowinski will tell you. You must give your brain the time to rest. And that's probably where they screwed up between the Bills and the Cincy game. That's all, dude.
Yeah, so like he's getting his rest. There's very much still question marks about Tua entering this year, but the question is no longer the talent and ability. The question is the availability. It's not about the talent anymore. Anybody, if you have eyes, you can see the guy can play at a high level. Can he do it for 17 games? Like from an availability standpoint. That is the question that Tua has to answer. Last year was, can you be the reason why your offense wins? Can you be the reason why your team wins games? Yes. Check.
Right.
File it. Seal it, file it. We're done. It's answered. Can you be available for your team for an entire season? That's not something that we've seen the first 2 years. And as your contract comes up, it's still a very prevalent concern. It's a very prevalent area of concern. But it can be, again, very easily alleviated, very easily addressed. You last for a full season. You're going to get your money.
Get rid of the football. Get rid of the football in the 3 seconds, and he'll have a nice long ass career. Keep trying to scramble around like you think you're Josh Allen or Pat Mahomes, and you will die soon. That's it. It's pretty simple, Tua. It's really not that difficult, but we'll see. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. Better yet, catch his work there at ESPN, and he'll be back later on in the week right here with our myedgedrink.com Miami Dolphins and NFL report. Marcel, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. Enjoy the week.
Yep. Y'all do the same.
Thank you, sir. Don't forget, Edge Energy Drink, the finest energy drink on the planet. Dude, 78 calories, delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. Great sponsors of our program. Please support the people that support us. But I tell you all the time, you can order it to your home, your office. Go to myedgedrink.com. It is absolutely off the charts. Listen, order a 6-pack, okay, or a 12-pack. And then when you get it, okay, I want you, whatever energy drink you normally drink, I want you to compare the two. And that's it. Once you're done with that, you're going to go, forget this. And you're going to stick to Edge. Why? Because it's delicious. Why? Because it's smooth. Why? Because it has zero aftertaste. Why? Because it only has 78 calories. Why? Because it's a great elixir. You mix it up with some vodka, and man, it is so damn good. Go to myedgedrink.com. Check it out, folks. Use our code Big O. Get 10% off. Get it delivered to your home, your office. myedgedrink.com. Support the great sponsors that support our program right here on the Big O Radio Show.
You now have the edge on the Miami Dolphins with the Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins Report featuring ESPN's Marcel Louis-Jacques. Get the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste. You can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com.
App for Idiots says, look, I know you guys get emotional. The only thing I can say is the Tua just win. No more excuses. Well, you're in the playoffs because of Tua. I don't know. That's called winning. I don't know. Any other quarterback is in there, you don't get to the playoffs. You don't get those 8 wins without Tua. I mean, those are the facts. But whatever. And that's not what you were talking about. You said a stupid-ass statement that you haven't seen a concussion last for 2 months. Okay. And by the way, it's not really lasting for 2 months. They're just giving him rest, which is what you're supposed to do. That's all. There's no hurry for anything. And we told you on the same team, Cethan Carter, which shows, Cap for Life, that you're nothing but a sensationalistic idiot, because all you're doing is running your mouth for drama purposes, and you have no education whatsoever. Because if you actually were a real Dolphin fan, you would have known about Cethan Carter getting the concussion at the end of the preseason and never being able to return from that concussion. For months, he was on that injured list until they said, yeah, we're at a point where we got to put you on the IR. You're done. But if you actually really were an informed Dolphin fan, you would have never made that stupid statement. So make all the excuses and change the subject. But what you said was inaccurate. And it was so inaccurate that it wasn't a player on another team. A player on the same team had your answer, yet your uneducated self, because you're a terrible fan, right? Because all you want to do is complain and whine like a little bitch. So there you go. No more. That's all I can tell you. No more. It'll be the end of that one. Let's see. What else do we have going on? Heat lose to the Hornets, 122-117. Out-rebounded, out-hustled. Rozier, P.J. Renner, Hayward. Maybe the Heat will want to trade for Hayward now that he scored 20. You know, I was thinking, you know, the Heat has created their own problems. It's weird, isn't it? Think about this. I think sometimes the Heat are falling in love with their own projects a little too much sometimes. And so, you build up Whiteside and then you give him a contract that he didn't deserve. And you build up James Johnson, but he was always James Johnson, but you gave him a contract he didn't deserve. And Tyler Johnson. And so now you built up Duncan Robinson as one of the better three-point shooters in the league, and then you gave him a contract, and now you can't do anything with that contract. And then you give Caleb Martin a contract, and I like Caleb Martin a lot, but now you're playing him out of position, so now you're not really getting your money's worth because the poor kid has to defend power forwards. It's the Heat are in they put themselves in a very dangerous spot. You want to develop players, but you want to make sure that you're developing the kind of players that really deserve the kind of money in your cap space. And that they're not fly-by-night overachievers, for a lack of a better term. It's kind of a dangerous, because I was thinking about that yesterday, and I'm going, man, you developed Duncan Robinson, and then you gave him all that money and nothing. And it just reminds me of what they did with others like Whiteside and others. And it just, wow. And I don't think Caleb Martin is the same thing. I think if you can get a power forward and then play him at a natural position like we were talking about with Ira and bring him off the bench, I think it would change things. And then you can get back that Caleb. It's just it's a really, really strange dynamic sometimes. It's great that they find players and that they develop them, but I'm not sure it's great that they give them the big contracts that they may not be able to live up to. It's kind of a strange dynamic. Tuesday, by the way, they're at Cleveland. So Ira Winderman should have fun on the road. Saturday, the Panthers, man, behind Lyon, they defeated the Bruins 4-3. That kid, Alex Lyon, has been through hell and back. I got to give him a lot of credit. And they beat Boston the other night. February 6th on Monday, they're off till, next week. They'll take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay? So that's when they're back in action. You have some news? What have you got some news in the NFL? Chargers?
Yeah, the Chargers look like they're going to sign Winslow. Kellen Winslow.
Kellen Winslow, the paper
Kellen
boy?
Moore.
Kellen Moore?
Sorry.
Kellen
I said
Moore?
Kellen Winslow.
I thought maybe they need a soldier.
Yeah, you never know.
There's a lot of craziness over there in San Francisco.
You have
they allow you to steal for nothing.
And what's funny is I'm looking through the things, and they were saying Carolina was going to reach out to see if he was going to be their OC. So, but Ian Rappaport's saying that he's already going there. And then also to add on to what was Barry Jackson's post is the Dolphins are reaching out to Hawaiian radio stations so that they could broadcast to his games over there.
Genius. Genius.
And he said that was sent out by the Dolphins. So
that is genius.
There's somebody on here saying
Dolphin games should be, and no NFL town has rights in Hawaii. Like you can't call an LA station because then you're going to have, issues with the Rams and stuff, at that point, because there's territorial rights, right? That would be very rude for you to do something like that. Not that the Yankees would ever come and, put a radio next to the Marlins. I mean, not that they would ever do that, but, I'm sorry, they do that. Okay, I'm sorry. But normally in the NFL, you can't get away with that, okay? The thing is, there are more Yankee fans in the state of Florida than Rays and Marlins fans. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's like a fact. I don't know if you know that. It's a fact. There are more Yankee fans in the state of Florida than Rays or Marlins fans.
Right, combined.
But the Dolphins to go out to Hawaii and put their games, I think that's genius, dude. That's freaking awesome.
And I'm trying to find it here, but somebody said that you got to talk about this tweet.
What tweet? What tweet are we talking about?
I don't know. Matt Jones says, got to talk about this tweet. Sean, interrupt the man.
I don't know.
What? I'm confused. Did you say so? I didn't hear you say anything about a tweet, so
I don't know what we're talking about. Big O, I got the professor working on a coconut helmet for Tua next season. He'll be fine. There we go. Edward Thurston Howell, thank you for the love in the super chat, sir. Did I miss any other super chats, by the way, during Marcel's run here? No other super chats. And I just checked Venmo and Cash App. Remember, Venmo or Cash App, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We got Steve in. Big O, I'm about a half hour behind, so I've addressed this. I apologize. Do you think they give Igbenogany another year to see if Fangio will work his... No, not at all, Steve. He will get training camp, and then Fangio will decide whether he belongs on the 53. Because he's under contract, so it doesn't hurt to bring him back. And you never know when the light goes on for any player, dude. Listen, I've given up on Igbenogany. I can't give him any more chances. You know, you can wait and wait, but I've never seen him learn anything. The few plays he's made, to me, are just pure luck. There's just not enough. What were you going to show me? Some tweet or something?
Yeah, it's the Michael Silver.
Oh, Mike Silver is reporting that it's still not finalized, right? That Fangio told him it's not finalized.
He said, for what it's worth, Vic Fangio told me late last night, nothing's been decided on my end. There's a huge amount of mutual respect between Kyle Shanahan and Fangio, a highly successful Niners DC under Jim Harbaugh, and it appears the 49ers will have an opening soon because D'Amico Ryans is leaving.
Yeah, right.
Now to go to Houston, Texas.
And his girlfriend is in California. So the girlfriend's winning over the mom. Well, you can move the mom.
You could.
You can't move the surgeon.
There's got to be places down here you could come to. Well, I mean, I don't know what her
that's my
practice is or whatever. But
she might be like it's not a partner like it is in a firm. It's she might be on the board. I guess that's what it's called. Like she may be running the bitch. You know?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not calling the woman a bitch. I'm saying running the hospital.
She can't uplift the whole practice and move.
Right. Yeah. I'm just saying she might be entrenched, and you don't want to,
But it's one of those things. It's another one of those that everybody was talking about because they were talking about if D'Amico Ryans left. Albright was talking about that one too. He said if D'Amico Ryans left, that opened up for San Francisco. So there's other. Yeah. It's never going to stop until that pin is on paper.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. I mean, you can't argue about that. All right. What else do we have here? Ohio John, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says poor Osai is now the defensive Ernest Biner. Yep. Ernest Biner, Buckner. These are things he's going to have to unfortunately live with, but he'll have a chance to redeem himself. That's all. Big O, you summarized many of these fans so well. You capped it off today by telling it like it is. Well done. Well, we normally do. I read through the phoniness of people like Cap for Life and stuff like that. And Jimmy, go get somebody to challenge him. Who, Jimmy? Well, I don't know. You can get somebody. Just get somebody. I love those people. And I love the radio hosts, the TV hosts, the writers. Well, go get somebody. Okay. See, I never do that. I usually tell you, go get somebody like this. And then I give you an example. That's kind of what I normally do. I'm not, go get, because I know there's nobody you can bring in to compete with Tua. No one. Okay? The kind of people you got to bring in for Tua are the kind of people that are going to get their own starting jobs somewhere else, like Aaron Rodgers. But Jimmy Garoppolo is not even better than Tua. He's even more injury prone than Tua. Derek Carr, not better than Tua. I'll take Tua over Derek Carr. Now, if you want to tell me that Derek Carr is more healthier than he is, okay. I can't argue with that one. But as a quarterback, still and Derek Carr is big enough that, like Aaron Rodgers, somebody's going to hand him a job somewhere. So he's not going to come in and compete with anybody. So there's nobody you can bring in to back up that can push Tua or compete with Tua. There's nobody out there. But that's the problem with you guys. You guys throw stuff out there, and then you don't know. Like the other idiot. Oh, I've never seen a concussion for 2 months. Well, Ethan Carter had it for longer, you moron. Like, if you don't know what you're talking about, then don't talk about it. It's just so stupid. So yeah, you'll get exposed on this show. Glad I found the Big O show. ESPN is ridiculous. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. What else do we have? Mike Silver tweeted 45 minutes ago that he talked to fans. Yes, we saw that. We saw all of that. By the way, not only did Acura get the Integra North American Car of the Year, you know Acura won the Daytona race yesterday. The Rolex, yeah, they won. So Acura won it yesterday. So Acura is all over the place, baby. They are like savoir-faire. They are everywhere. Big O, don't forget these so-called doctors. Yeah, telling you.
Hey, Tom Pelissaro with another one.
Okay.
The NFL informed teams today that the 2023 salary cap will be a record $224.8 million per club. Sources tell me in Rap Sheet that's up from $208.2 million.
Yeah, I was going to say about 14, 16. Okay. I was going to say it was 210.
2022, and then, of course, 182.5 in COVID adjustment and 198.2 in 2020.
There you go.
So we got money.
A little extra money. Yeah, baby. A little extra money. You see, the cap opened up a little bit more now. Now they have a little bit more space. Same amount of players. Salaries go up as long as the cap goes up too, folks. Okay. It's not like you get more players. But if you have less cap space like Miami, now you got a little more cap space. So that's good. All right. We are out of here. We thank Ira Winderman, Alan Poupar, Andy Behrens. I'm sorry, not Andy Behrens. Andy Behrens will be joining us tomorrow. Marcel Louis-Jacques. Tomorrow we'll be in Mobile, Alabama, and we will start our day with this. Then we will go to practice. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, we'll have more nuggets for you and all that good stuff. We thank, of course, Sean Stanley, the great Larry Schlossberg, and all the fantastic people out here at Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines. We will see all of you tomorrow morning live from Mobile, Alabama, baby. We'll be talking now. We'll start turning more to draft talk and off-season talk and all that. So we'll get all of that going, and we'll try to dig up some dirt for you. And maybe we'll find out. We'll try to find out something on the whole Fangio thing. So make sure you follow us on Twitter at Big O Show, because that's usually where I end up breaking the news first on Twitter before anything else. All right, we are out of here. Thank you, Sean. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Oh, by the way, the Red Recover Inside the Paint show, normally Wednesdays, will be tomorrow at 9 a.m. We will be on tomorrow early, probably around 8 a.m. or something like that if I can get up. See y'all later. Y'all be good.